Welcome, dear viewers, for the final day of the first Fujairah Global Chess Championship 2025. We have seen a lot of actions throughout the tournament, but today is the final countdown. We are your hosts for the whole event. Basically, we're hosting, and today is the final day. My name is 𝐒𝐤𝐬𝐤, and I'm joined by Grandmaster 𝐒𝐤𝐬𝐤. 𝐒𝐤𝐬𝐤, we have the last day.
Yeah, the last day, the last battle, the final battle, and very important one. Yeah. So morning round, probably difficult for everyone, but still, yeah, this is the decisive day, decisive round. So, and probably we'll have, well, I believe maybe some short draws, but also some big games today, because let's say even on board one, Alan Pichot is in a kind of must-win situation. So by winning the game, by beating Pranav, he can share the first place, or even take the first place in the tournament, win the tournament. So this is extremely important for him and also for the others. I mean, of course, I mean, Pranav has probably better chances, of course, because he is 1 point ahead, but everything is possible. Everything is possible.
Yeah, I like how you said it. I mean,
Half point ahead, yeah, I'm
half
sorry.
a point, yes.
Yeah. He was leading yesterday by 1 point. Yesterday he made a draw, and yeah, now it's only half a point ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, today he has 6 points, and we have also 2 players with 5.5, 𝐒𝐤𝐬𝐤 and Jacobson Brandon.
Yeah.
So, but those could also potentially surpass the, and we have the first move, by the way. We have 1 e4 on the board, Pranav V against Alan Pichot. That's what we have, e45.
And a solid approach, yeah?
The best by test.
Solid approach. Well, yeah, even in the must-win situation, probably he plays his own opening repertoire.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no experiments. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, it's of course, it's very hard to win with black. You don't need to, but even you can win, let's say, in a calm, long game. I mean, you don't need to play your, I mean.
And here we can see the top-seeded Michal Sarin is shaking hand. So right now he's getting ready to play against Brandon Jacobson.
Yeah.
So the other player has a huge chance to get to it. And look at the look of the Abhimanyu Mishra. I mean, the stare he always has. I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always there. And by the way, here we see that Sam Shankland get also on the top of the boards, playing
with Jose Martinez, yeah.
And Fujairah still in the top. By the way, today she's facing Cheparinov.
Yeah.
It's going to be also very interesting.
Yeah, another top grandmaster. I mean, just okay, amazing tournament for her.
Yeah, so many familiar places.
Legend is there also. Vasily Ivanchuk playing with Grebnev, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, on the further board. Now we see here Suleiman Lee was there, who lost yesterday. But yeah, now we see Ivanchuk, and we see what is happening there.
Kind of Tarash, if I'm not mistaken.
Tarash.
From this angle, looks like Tarash.
Yes.
Okay. So we have moves on board one, so it's already 6 moves, and we have the Rui Lopez. A rare
I
guest,
think let's first focus on the playing venue. Let's see all the players, because it's important to see. And wait,
what's going on?
What happened?
Morning round.
Oh.
Is he crying?
I don't know. C4, B6 is
we
on the
hope
board.
Not, yeah.
Look at the C4 and B6.
This Grandmaster Kasper. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
He's a six-time
Polish champion.
Not Polish, but world solving.
Yeah. Actually, that you know that Fujairah Club is famous for organizing solving events. Yeah, I took part a couple of times. I mean, okay, but it is really extremely hard to compete with professionals. I mean, their rating is not important, or titles. I mean, yeah, it's a very specific kind of chess.
And here we have the first board. So as you were saying, the moves are incoming. And we have Rui Lopez.
Very rare nowadays. I mean, we are much more expecting.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes, exactly.
not so many grandmasters, yeah, in
Have two grandmasters
two titles, yeah, in solving and in regular chess. Okay, so bishop a4, knight f6, castle, bishop e7, and d3. Okay, so d3 is nowadays, let's say, same as popular as rook e1. d6, c4. Okay, once again, fresh approach uh, from Pranav. I mean, of course, here white usually plays the move c3 in most of the games. Why c3 is just saving the bishop, yeah? Because if you play a move like rook e1, h3, black plays b5, bishop b3, knight a5, and taking the bishop. So c3 is the common move, but c4 is also interesting, yeah? So white wants to play h3, bishop e3, and the plan with knight c3, knight d5. This
Yeah, I
is the
think
setup.
Pranav is not stopping to surprise us with his interesting opening choice a bit. But okay, it's still
Yeah.
still theory, everything.
Yeah, castle h3, yeah, just to avoid any bishop g4 move. Bishop to e6. Okay. Okay, just completing the development. There are so many systems here. I played myself for this structure with black pieces against Duda. And I don't remember exactly, but in one of the very similar position, I just retreat my bishop, by my knight to b8, yeah, saying that the knight is misplaced on c6, the knight is better on b7, and something like, I don't know, c6, b5, improving the structure. But of course, it was not immediately, but in a very similar position. Okay, bishop e6.
And by the way, only 4 games in this position were played, if you can see the book.
Yeah, we have the games Sokolov, Ivan, and Naidich Arkady, Markovsky, Naidich. So Naidich, yeah, is playing mainly this for black. Matinyan Predke and Gledura Palkovic. So all the games are on the high level, and bishop e3.
So in all those games, knight c3 was played. In all those games, they went with knight c3, but bishop e3 is a new move now.
Yeah, okay, might be transposition. Yeah, exactly. So knight c3, then followed by bishop e3. But maybe the difference is that if after knight c3, black can jump knight d4, maybe he's trying to avoid. I'm not sure this is a good move. Actually, this is probably a bad positional move because after takes, knight e2, now white got majority on the queen side. Okay, black also can attack with c5 and later on b5. So maybe it's not so bad, but anyway, Pranav decided just to avoid any knight d3 moves, knight d4 moves, and yeah, he's ready now to play knight c3, followed by rook c1, knight d5, a3, b4. And what black can do here? Yeah, knight d7 with the idea of 5 is one move. Maybe black can play in the style of Benko Gambit. I mean, b5. Okay, maybe not immediately, yeah, but b5 might be an interesting idea. Okay, probably knight d7, knight c3, and maybe black can try to play directly with f5. Basically, this is one of the main ideas in this opening. Yeah, f5.
Just break in the center.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you don't take, there is going to be a 4.
Exactly, and so then g5, g4.
So white is forced to take.
White is probably forced to take, exactly. And bishop takes or even rook takes, by the way.
By the way, this happened. This happened already.
In many games,
no,
yeah?
No, not in many games, but in this one.
Ah, really?
Already this position is there.
Okay. So
let's go back a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but by the way, I was thinking, can black take with the rook, preventing the move c4? I mean, rook f5, no c4 because bishop takes, no d4 because bishop takes c4. But I think anyway white can play d4.
Just sacrifice.
Yeah, just sacrifice this pawn and bishop b3. And if take, maybe double attack, queen d7, and we face all these complications. I don't know.
But what we can tell for sure is that Pranav was ready for it. So he took on f5 with the bishop, d4 was, sorry, the Alan Bishop took with the bishop on f5, now d4 was played.
Yeah, taking, black took on d4, knight d4, knight d4.
All the moves incoming so quickly, both players are prepared.
Yeah, so this we're still on the game Matinyan Predke, played 2014, 11 years ago. Now probably taking with the bishop, yeah, is the most logical move here.
And now we're getting this interesting pawn structure. Yeah, where white has 3 against 2 on the king side, which we might say maybe not going to be so easy to create a passer later on because of the king location. But also for black, it's hard to have this pawn structure with for white's pawn on c4 because white cannot expand on the queen side properly.
Yeah. Okay, and probably here black can jump with knight to e5 or c5 or even bishop f6. Okay, I like this one because bishop takes c5, this structure is probably good for black. Because bishop's pair here is probably more important than the compromise structure. And bishop comes to d6, black can organize, or bishop to f6, bishop d4. And after bishop knight c5, retreating the bishop probably is like normal option here. Let's say, I don't know, bishop takes c2, queen takes c2, and something like bishop f6. I think that black is very close to equalize. I don't know, if bishop c5 once again, yeah, dc5, and black installs the bishop on d4.
Yeah, and then there will be strong bishops.
Yeah, and then with pressure on f2, so probably white plays or rook d1, or maybe takes immediately, maybe let's say rook to d1. Black can take. Yeah, I believe that black is very close to equalizing.
Yeah, you know what, VRL, I mean, we see that Pranav is still thinking. So let's discuss the option of queen takes d4. I'm just interested because he's not playing just yet.
Okay, this is very interesting. So maybe white keeps the option to give check and take on b7, yeah? Because otherwise the queen on d4 is a little bit, let's say knight c5. Now queen d5, bishop e6. So this check is just wasting time. And what do you do after knight c5?
And as we discussed, bishop d4 was played. So
Yeah.
he went for it. Of course,
Yeah.
bishop d4 is more logical. He just probably double check, triple check what is happening. And knight c5 instantly, as you were saying.
Yeah, it's quite logical play. And probably both players, they know the game of Martinian and Predkim. Probably they have some improvements here. Bishop c2 and bishop c2, queen c2, bishop f6. This would be like something simpler. I don't know, black, maybe black can try the move queen d7. No, queen d7 looks a little bit.
Knight d5.
Yeah, knight d5. Yeah, no, so probably bishop f6. Oh, sorry.
Bishop takes, queen takes, and bishop f6. Yeah.
Well, I was trying to no place for creativity here. Just takes, and bishop f6, and okay, rook to d1 probably. Here black takes, and a move of the queen maybe to g5. Maybe queen to g5. But can even try, okay, knight e6, knight f4, but then rook g4. Okay, knight d5, let's say, rook f7. Yeah, it's a solid position. It's a solid position. Maybe white can push a little bit with f4 here, f5. Yeah, by the way, I mean, white can try to play for advantage here a little bit. I mean, it's not that simple, yeah, because the knight on d5 is probably stronger than the knight on c5.
Can you please b4?
b4 and just give the bishop. Yeah.
Wait, sorry.
Okay, it's probably not a problem, but
no, we have to keep the bishop.
Or maybe knight d5 here, by the way, stopping the move bishop f6. This also can be an option.
Then getting this opposite color
yeah,
bishop
exactly.
position, but
Takes. Maybe not when we don't take the bishop immediately. And then rook comes to e1, queen to b3. This knight is strong. Yeah, this is also an interesting, by the way, idea. Yeah. White can just give the bishop. I don't know. Bishop h4 looks a little bit. No, it's a good move. Bishop h4, saving the bishop. Maybe next move is c6. Okay, let's say rook e1, bishop b3, queen b3. Checking the b7 pawn. Queen g5. Okay, let's play a little bit risky here. Queen g5.
Queen g5. Okay, but then are there threats? Bishop.
No.
Maybe bishop e4.
Yeah, but probably just knight takes e7. Yeah, knight takes e7. Sorry, and bishop e4. This is I was counting on this, but f3 and nothing happens here. No.
No take is possible.
No, no. Okay. So yeah, knight d5, okay, knight a4, queen a4, bishop h4. This is what we were discussing. Bishop h4, black saves the bishop, and let's say queen b3, maybe the move c6 here. Well, looks a little bit too risky, yeah? Or maybe black can start with bishop e4, by the way. Bishop e4, queen takes b7, and pawn is a pawn.
And queen g5.
Queen g5, and then we have knight f6 check.
Oh.
I think this is the point, yeah?
This is very nice, yeah.
Yeah, and black is not in time to create threats. Okay, so yeah. And what happened here? He did play bishop c2, yeah? I know. This is the current position. Yeah, this is the current position. So he just played queen c2, a safe move, bishop c2, queen c2.
So we are following so far the game of Matignan against Predke.
Exactly.
And looking at the player's speed, I mean, I believe both players know, although Pranav, we just slow down a little bit, but it might be that he just recalling all the moves from the file, all the variations, and some tactical opportunities, because you have always watch out. You shouldn't always just trust your preparation. You just have to recheck, because as we saw, Pranav, we played this f4. He thought, okay, he recalled this from preparation, that this line works, but it didn't work in that position.
Yeah.
Sometimes your brain makes tricks with you. Yeah? And bishop f6 is played. So question is, do you trade the bishops, or do you still have an opportunity to play bishop e3, stepping away?
Well, yeah, this one actually is also interesting, because let's say if you don't take on c3, the knight jumps to d5, yeah? Bishop e3. Yeah, this is an interesting move. Can black play a little bit anti-positional chess? Let's say knight e6, threatening to jump knight d4, and if rook d1, c5. I know, it's bad. I know this is bad, but yeah, but now I want to install something on d4. I don't know, knight, bishop, anything. So knight d5, bishop d4.
I want both knight and the bishop.
Yeah, that will be the ideally, but.
By the way, that's what we also, when we spoke yesterday with 𝐤𝐬𝐬 about this variance, he told me about some game called Janus. You hear about this?
Yes,
there is a piece,
yeah,
which is knight and the bishop at the same time.
with two faces, yeah, this Janus is, yeah. Yeah, I think this is actually, it's an old idea. I know from 90s or maybe even before, yeah, with that piece. And this piece, Janus, I mean, King Janus versus King, it's winning actually.
Yes, because you can bring
checkmate
on like f7 or f2 if you.
Yeah, on f6 also is checkmate.
On f6 also. Yeah.
Also checkmate, yeah. So you can checkmate with this piece. I mean, this piece actually might be stronger than the queen.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
nice.
Yeah, and bishop e3 was played, or not yet? No, not yet. Thinking, yeah. Let's see from the camera. Bishop e3 was played.
Wow.
And bishop takes c3 instantly. Wow.
Oh, by the way, bishop e3, I think it was played also in the game. Look at this. Yeah, bishop e3 was positioned, and here with black, Predke played c6, which probably, according to Alan Pichot analysis, was not the best move. And that's what also computer evaluation confirms, because we see immediately evaluation bar jumps slightly up. And he analyzed and he plays bishop c3. I mean, what a deep preparation. Now, move 17, he's blitzing out all the moves. Also, Pranav is playing very quickly. Queen takes f3, queen takes c3 happened on the board. And Pranav is thinking. So let's just highlight following. If Pranav plays a draw now, he's at least sharing first place. So this is like, if he plays a draw, it's a safe way for him.
Yeah.
Because he is just at least sharing the first place. But it's going to be so difficult to win for the other guys, for Tabatabai and Jacobson. They play against such strong players. So
and Queen f6 played by Alain Pichot, so he is ready to play this endgame. Well, it looks like white. By the way, white is better here. White is slightly better. I mean, let's say after queen takes f6, rook f3, rook d1. There is this positional threat of bishop takes c5 in some moments. I mean, white can even push on the queen side a little bit. I don't know. Despite of, let's say, computer's evaluation that computer just saying like zeros, in a practical game, I think white is slightly better.
and also,
this is my opinion.
Yeah, we also have on the bottom of our screen the result of the round 8. Also, our dear viewers can see them. So we have the results of the top, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 boards. So you can also see the results from yesterday. There was a draw on board 1 between Abhimanyu Mishra and Pranav V, and Pranav V saved his lead because he was up the full point. But it was Tabatabai and Jacobson who strike yesterday and get only half a point distance from the leader. And we have many draws, of course. Jose Martinez against Fujairah played the draw. And also very important, Viorel Nihal-Sarin started really, I mean, not so great, but
Yeah.
he's starting to get in the top of the leader. And if he wins today, he can get even to top 3 maybe.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, losing first round and also playing in round 3, I think 2, 3, not so well, but slowly coming back. Yeah, this we call it class. Yeah, a class player. I mean,
Yes.
even if you are not in your best shape, but anyway, you can show a good result. Yeah, rook d1. I mean, in my opinion, Pranav, we can play this a little bit decent game. I mean, it's not dead draw, yeah, because we are used to see, okay, this is like dead draw, structure is symmetrical, same pieces on the board, and it's nothing to do. But this here, I mean, here white can a little bit push. I mean, you have majority on the king side, you have better bishop against the knight, and you have this outpost on d5. You can use it for the rook. Yeah, rook d5, rook d1, g4, king g2, h4. I like white's position. I think that he can push a little bit.
And just for one moment, I think I heard that we have a result on the first board in Masters. If we can go now
Right.
to the Masters, and I'll try to pull up the camera.
Okay.
So the second board.
No, this.
But one, yeah, so now we see the second board in the Masters because first board is finished. So,
Yeah. So this is the first board in Masters. Okay, it was this draw. Well, I can say that once I made the same draw in the Olympiad against 𝐒𝐚𝐲𝐻𝑒𝐢𝐤𝐡. It was the match of Moldova-Israel, the Olympiad in 2006 in Spain, and I didn't have like anything good against this knight g4, and I just made a draw.
And you know, he made a draw because we have on the first board now playing Hardaway, who was leading the tournament with 7 points, and Ashraf with 6.5 points. With this draw, Hardaway claims himself the clear first with 7.5 points. So he's the winner of the Masters tournament. So huge congratulations to Brington Hardaway. He has played amazing tournament. We are not following so much of Masters, but I heard that we will soon have an interview with him. So I'm looking forward to hear from his experience. And for Artin Ashwar, Fide Master from Iran. I believe he was also interviewed a couple of times after his brilliant victories. He had 6.5 points. Now he's getting 7 points. There are players who can still catch him, but he has a very strong tiebreak, so he will at least share second place. So it's also a great result for him. So I think we can congratulate both of the players.
Yeah, good tournament for junior player Hardway Brington. As I know, he got a wild card, yeah, and then he will play this Grand Swiss now in Samarkand, starting after a couple of days.
Nice.
Yeah, so
yeah, great performance before and great preparation for the Grand Swiss, and yeah, amazing. All right, so I think we go back to the
and
to
Queen
the
f6,
superstars.
and Pranav is still thinking. Okay, I mean, rook queen takes queen, rook takes f6, rook d1, and I believe he can push a little bit. Yeah, I mean, at least you can try, yeah, for a couple of moves. If you see that something is not going exactly well, you can anytime take on c5 and just eliminate, I mean, the any possibility of black to play for advantage, let's say like this. Yeah, just taking on f6, take on f6, and rook d1, and I don't know, maybe he can be even ambitious here with white a little bit.
Of course, also you have the bishop against the knight. You have pawns on the both sides. The position is open.
Yeah, yeah.
Usually bishop is better in such positions, but of course, it's always...
Yeah, actually, yeah, so for black, it's no weaknesses. Yeah, no weaknesses. Black controls the open file. I mean, yeah, it's not easy to white to get. Yeah, okay, this and maybe something like rook d1. You trade one pair of rook, then you bring the king.
Maybe you can push before c5 at
maybe you can push before c5. Yeah, I mean maybe immediately, but yeah, knight d7. Probably black is okay. Now white should be careful because maybe rook can counter. Okay, actually no danger here because rook e4, rook d4. White changes one pair of rook and then coming with the king, maybe pushing a little bit g4, h4. I don't know. I would play a little bit with white here. I don't believe. Yeah, queen takes f6 happened. Rook f6 and rook d1. Yeah, probably. Yeah, this is the current position.
Yeah, this is what we see.
Let's see if Pranav is ambitious or he can just yeah, he can just secure a draw here.
And the other board where there are no queens already there is board number 5. I just suggest to go there to check what happened. It's Sam Shankland against Jose Martinez. Later we'll go again to the board 2 and 3. Yeah, but just for a moment.
We have Berlin variation of
Berlin endgame.
Berlin endgame, yeah, Berlin wall. I mean, it's hard to break.
The series starting here, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So knight c3, b6, one of the 10 moves. 10 possible moves here, like h5, h6, bishop e7, bishop e6, a6, a5, b6. I mean, all the legal moves almost are possible here. Knight e7, b6, knight e4, bishop e6, g4, knight e7, knight d4. Okay. Okay, so this is not a draw. This is far from to be a draw. This is just a very complex endgame. I mean, white got better development and let's say, I mean, pawn's advantage on the king side, yeah, 4 against 3. But from the other hand, black's position is solid, plus bishop's pair. Yeah, this is always, this endgame is always not easy to play and even not easy to prepare against, because even the computer might say like 0-5, still means nothing, absolutely. So knight d4, and here black can play with two ideas. Just keep the bishop with bishop d7 and trying to play with for c5 idea, or just black can give the bishop. I don't know if immediately or something like maybe knight g6 or knight d5. No, I think better is just to keep the bishop on this position with bishop d7.
Can I keep the bishop with bishop d5?
With bishop d5, yeah, but you just basically give this bishop.
One more time.
Yeah, I mean, okay, maybe
bishop
you can.
c4.
Yeah, bishop c4, gaining some tempest, rook e1, rook to d8.
But by the way, if you give up your bishop on d5, you can fix your pawn structure.
Yeah, it's true, but the white is more advanced on the king side with the pawns. Yeah, you can do this, let's say, by playing h5 here. It's quite often black plays this kind of position. Let's say knight takes d5. Now you fix your structure, but still, after, let's say, move like king g2, followed by f4, f5, white is just a little bit faster by his pawns. I mean,
just to create a passer.
Yeah, I mean, now c5 might be knight to b5, then white plays with f4. I mean, still this position is far from to be simple. Let's say f5, knight c5, c5, knight b5, and you know, king to d7, maybe knight to d6, maybe f4. Yeah.
It's very tough. If we go now to the current position, what do you say? Who has better chances in this Berlin endgame? Sam Shankland, someone who has more experienced, or Jose Martinez, who is more sharp and dangerous, especially in online and faster time
Well,
control?
as far as I know, Berlin variation is his main weapon. Jose Martinez. I mean, he played, I don't know, like a huge number of online games. I know, hundreds, maybe thousands. And you get experience from playing online games. I mean, if you play it seriously, if you analyze after. So to me, this is not so simple. I mean, I would say that Sam Shenton, yeah, he's more experienced. He's a good endgame player, but also Jose Martinez, he played so many games with Berlin. I mean, that I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say here.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it is
It's
really
hard to
hard.
say. Definitely a tough battle. So let's go maybe just give an update from board one because they traded many pieces. So
Everything, yeah. So bishop
everything.
takes c5 and rook e1. This rook to f1. Okay. Probably it doesn't matter so much. Ah, okay. Now it's clear why this. Because after rook e1, rook d8, rook e7, there is rook d2. Yeah, targeting both pawns. And if you go with the same line here,
Then the pawn is defended. On
then the
f2.
pawn is defended, and this is very important. White might win a pawn. No, first maybe white plays here
b3.
b3, exactly. Rook takes a2.
And then rook c7, attacking two pawns.
Yes,
Maybe
and if black plays here rook f7, then we have this repetition. Black probably cannot avoid it because rook c8, you don't really want to play the move rook c8 because you are too passive. So probably this is kind of a draw offer. Yeah, this is what I feel.
Okay, yeah, what can we say? I mean, one more time for Pranav, with the draw will mean at least sharing the first place. Only if someone will catch him between Tabata Bay or Jacobson. And here we have the prizes. This is what players are fighting for. And this is why it's so important, to fight in the last round, especially for the players who still have a chance, is because first place gets 23,000 US dollars. And for the second, it's 13,000, $10,000 difference. Of course, such a huge difference. You have to fight for the first place. Third place gets 9,000, fourth with 8,000 US dollars, fifth with 7,000, sixth place with 6,000, seventh place with 5, eighth with 4, ninth with 3, and 10th with 2. What a prize fund, $80,000 only for the Superstars tournament.
Yeah, and probably total prize is 125, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, from all the 3 tournaments, dear viewers, we have 3 tournaments played here. So we have also Masters and we have Open section, but of course this is the main event, Superstars. They have the most prize fund. So this is, it already sounds really great, 80,000 US dollars, but overall it's even more. So yeah, definitely a great tournament.
Yeah.
Very impressive, and I think it's yeah, we have here also the prizes for the Masters tournament. This is what Brewington will bring home, or first to Samarkand and then home. It's first place, 5,000 US dollars. Second place, 4. Then we have 3.5, 3, 2.5, 2,000, 1.5, 1, 1,300, 1,200, and 1,200 for the last 2 places. So these are amazing prizes which we have here. We have also special prizes. It's very important to highlight the best performing female players as well as Arab players. And also there are rating category prizes, as you can see there, viewers. It's important always.
So this is probably for Masters group, yeah?
This is for the Masters, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
okay, good.
No 2,400 in the Superstars.
Quite logical.
Yes. So it's amazing how the local authorities, how the Fujairah Chess Club, I mean, is creating these opportunities for the players and also rewarding everybody. So it's not only about the best players, but it's also about the best female players, the best junior players, the best Arab players also. I really like it how United Arab Emirates Federation is bringing more and more children into chess.
Yeah, impressive. I know I'm more than 8 years here as working as a coach, and many clubs are investing in chess. I mean, just some examples. Yeah, probably the 4 strongest opens in the world are here in United Arab Emirates. I mean, Sharjah Masters, Abu Dhabi Festival, Dubai Open, and now Fujairah, the 4th one. So it's actually a full circuit, 4 tournaments with impressive prize fund. And United Arab Emirates was awarded or granted with the Chess Olympiad in 2028 in Abu Dhabi. So I expect that, let's say, in the upcoming years, they will organize more tournaments, more official tournaments, maybe World Cup or team championships. Yeah, and example of Salem shows that everything is possible, even if you are not from let's say, country with chess tradition, with deep chess tradition. Still, the country can produce strong players, grandmasters, top grandmasters. And just recently, in Arab Championship, Arab Junior Championship, many players from United Arab Emirates managed to get the titles, and this is also very important for the country, for the chess community here, because really they like chess, they invest in chess. It's impressive.
Viral, do you think Saleh Salem is the main the main influencer of chess, so to say, in UAE, and he was the reason so much supporters been found and started to investing in chess?
Well, Salem, yeah, of course, he's let's say the brightest example, but also I would like to mention the female player, Rhoda Al-Serkal. She became grandmaster at the age of 15, and she became the world champion first girls under 8 and then girls under 9. So it also, by the way, it's a good example, because to win a kids tournament, let's say World Junior, it's not so easy, yeah, because especially you are competing with so big countries like India, China, and US, and a small country with not really big chess traditions, you still can produce world champions and grandmasters. So I believe two examples, yeah, Salem in the men's chess and Rhoda Al-Serkal in women's. I mean, just yeah, this is just. And I would say I am the coach of both of them. So I made Rhoda Al-Serkal world champion back in.
Wow, really?
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
Back in 2018 in Brazil.
Congratulations to you.
Well, it was 7 years ago.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, and next year she won World School Under 9 in Albania. It was a World School
Amazing.
Championship at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, so as we can see, it's important for each country to have their own chess heroes for whom the children are looking up to and thinking, okay, well, one day I want to become Saleh. Saleh, one day I want to become Rhoda. So definitely great athletes, great chess players. And she's also playing in the Masters tournament,
Yeah,
by the way. I saw that she was playing here.
Yeah, she's playing. Actually, she played all the tournaments here in Emirates. I mean, it was Abu Dhabi first. I mean, before, and now in Masters here. And also, she played, by the way, in the Women World Cup this summer in Georgia. Okay, unfortunately, she was eliminated by very experienced Irina Krush. So it's yeah, okay.
But okay, she had such a huge opportunity. Amazing. So let's move on probably to board 2. What is happening there? Because it's Tabata Bey who is half a point behind Pranav. If he wins, he still has a chance to surpass Pranav.
Yeah, and we have Donchenko playing with white pieces. Okay, so what do we have here? Starting like Catalan, but no. So soon probably we'll have a Benoni type of deposition, yeah? So white can choose, or you play b4 and this is like Benko gambit, or you play e3 and then we got Benoni structure position. Taking knight a3, castle, knight c2, e5 and b4, yeah?
So now we are getting this modern Benoni reversed with lost tempo for black. So not only did black started with a one tempo less, but they also lost one tempo on e3, e6, e5.
Yeah, it's correct. But anyway, yeah, there is a big difference, yeah, because here as white you play for an advantage, yeah, and it's actually put more pressure on white's play, on white's
ambitions.
Yeah, because yeah, I mean Benoni is a good opening, but if you play as black, everybody knows that it's really difficult. Yeah.
So it's improved Benoni now.
Yeah, I would say this is improved Benoni, but still not enough probably to get an advantage as white. Okay, e5 and b4. Yeah, this is typical idea. White is trying to trade the b pawn for the pawn e5, and now it's black to decide. Yeah, how do you deal with? I mean, probably taking on before, this is the one, this is probably the best move here, but also black can avoid and just play a6. a6 followed by rook e8, and you just give white based on the queen side, but you say, okay, I don't care, I just play my plan with h6, bishop f5, queen d7, rook e8. But of course, the more principle is to take on b4, knight takes b4, bishop takes b4, knight takes e5, and white gets the initiative. Yeah, rook b1 is coming, bishop a3, queen to a4, maybe bishop f4 or bishop g5. I mean, still black has problems with bishop on c8 and then rook on a8. So I believe that, okay, instead of, yeah, here on knight a3, I believe that black should play a little bit different, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe first with, how do they play here? With h6? Well, it was a move order.
Is there also bishop a3?
No, I mean bishop a3 here, yeah, you just, okay, yeah, you can do this, but I believe that white can just play this position, let's say like rook b1 or rook e1 and the knight, yeah.
Okay.
So no, it was a move to stop this b5. I know, it's not bishop d6. It's with the bishop on e7 here. But
okay.
it's a little bit different,
Okay,
yeah.
it's different, of course.
Yeah. And castle, knight c2, pawn hangs, and
okay, you have to defend the pawn. If bishop was on e7, pawn would not hang. This
and
is
you
the
could
difference.
play a5 move, yeah. And now you cannot play a5 because pawn on e5 hangs, so e5 and b4, yeah.
So you have to go with, you have to go e5, but then you allow b4.
Well, I think still you can play the move bishop e7. It looks like losing a tempo, but here it maybe doesn't matter so much. Just stopping b5, b4, or white anyway is play
okay,
b4. Yeah. Anyway.
But of course, if you want to get this position, of course, you start with a bishop e7. You don't lose the time later. But we have
rook e8, yeah. Rook e8 was played, so black is just ignoring white's.
And by the way, attacking the pawn on b4.
Yeah.
Because pawn on e5 is fully defended. Now knight b4 is a threat, and that's why white is playing rook e1.
Yeah, actually with white you can also push the pawns like
b5 or c5.
Or c, no, starting with c5 and then b5. Let's say c5, bishop c7, b5, yeah. And then probably black plays knight e7, knight g6, or knight b8, knight d7. Depends on the situation. Let's say knight to e7, rook e1, knight g6. Yeah, we have this position from Jacopiano, yeah, knight on e7,
yes,
knight g6, and yeah, and then you could just continue with a4 and bishop a3. I don't know, knight b4, knight d2, knight c4. I mean, you have many ideas here with white. So basically, yeah, but instead white just played rook e1, yeah.
Not rushing yet.
Inviting to the same line, yeah, with knight b4, bishop b4. Okay, rook e5. This time with exchange of the rooks, yeah. Is there any difference? Okay, probably. Okay,
one difference is that, of course, the king side rook of black was the one which is active. The queen side rook is going to be many times on this under the spin.
Yeah, it's quite logical.
And for white, the a1 rook, it can easily come out to b1 and put pressure on b7.
Yeah.
So maybe it's good for white to trade this.
Yeah. So once again, yeah, you black. I mean, from the beginning, choose this strategy not to take on b4. So probably even here, yeah, black will just ignore the threat of b5 or c5. I mean,
yeah, because now it doesn't make sense anymore. If one move ago, probably it would be still possible.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably black can play a6 or maybe just ignore by playing bishop f5.
Or bishop g4.
Or maybe even bishop to g4, yeah? Okay, bishop g4, h3. And now
you have
to h5, yeah, probably. Just to keep the spin. And now white pushes everything, let's say.
c5, b5.
Or first b5 and then g4, knight h4. I don't know how to start with. Maybe to start with b5, knight. Now knight e7. This might be just losing a pawn. And if knight to b8, then anyway g4, bishop g6, and knight h4. So this is, I believe, the position to avoid with black pieces. So once
Looks
again,
like it.
Yeah. So once again, so b5, maybe knight to b4. Wow, that's one is. So then white should just change the move order. Maybe starting with g4, bishop g6 and now b5, yeah. And if knight b4, this is just losing a pawn, yeah. Knight b4, bishop b4, and rook takes e5. Yeah, not so easy. Not so easy for black. If knight b8, now knight goes to h4. So rook e1, rook e1 was played, and now black is thinking.
By the way, we have a first result on the last board. And guess what it was?
Probably a draw.
Yes, it is a draw, and it's a famous draw. We can go quickly there. Ah, no, not on the last board. Okay, for some reason it showed me it was last 16, yeah.
Oh yeah, the Berlin draw. We have seen hundreds of games played.
So now we have already second time. We saw the draw on the Masters in the first board. That was first draw that we teach our viewers.
Yeah.
And this is the second one. Can we?
From the beginning.
From the beginning, just to show how it goes. So I think there was like some sacrifice or a trade of the. The sacrifice of the bishop, but knight is trapped.
Knight is trapped. Yeah, knight to d4, takes and d5, and we have this trade of everything and repetition.
Okay, of course you can still play on here, but everything is even, like all position is completely mirrored, and I think for both players, since the tournament was not going so well. For Motelo, by the way, he started with 2 wins.
Yeah.
First and second round against strong players.
Incredible. And after
then he lost. I forgot to him he lost, but then he lost. Second loss was to Fujairah for sure.
Yeah, he lost 2 games in a row. Yeah, first he lost with Amitabh was no, not with.
Was it Abhimanyu? No, not Abhimanyu Mishra. I'm going to check, but we can move on probably to the to the third board. We haven't checked it just yet.
Okay, and here we have the game of Nihal Sorin playing again with white
pieces. Jose Martinez. That endgame, remember?
The endgame, the rook's endgame.
Oh, yeah.
So Nihal Sorin against Jacobson Brandon, and we have the whole system. Okay. B3.
And now this like Larson.
Yeah, Larson. Yeah, I don't know, whatever.
Mix, some mix.
And once again, I was just if Black could play this maneuver with 𝐒𝐤𝐬6, like in yesterday's game of same Nihal Sorin against Fujairah.
But this is a different.
Yeah, it's of course it's a different, and Jacobson just played bishop to b7, and we have this hanging pawns probably position. We will have soon rook e1, no, knight e4. Yeah, so let's say if black plays c5, we might have the same this hanging pawns position, yeah, which is.
But you know what I'm thinking here? Why should black even play for c5? Because that will just open the bishop on b2.
Yeah, but from the other hand, this is like a fight for the center, yeah? I mean, this is also important. And also fight for space, yeah? Because if you don't play c5, white has more space. 2 pawns in the center against 1, yeah? c4, d4 against d5.
Maybe there could be a plan to somehow insert the knight on e4 at some moment if white takes on d4. Okay, he goes immediately.
Yeah, queen c2.
Okay.
And knight f6. Also, I was thinking, can black play the Dutch wall? I mean, the stone wall structure by f5 here. I mean, I believe this is playable. This is playable. It's probably just different approach. Yeah, you can play with f5 here. So instead of knight f6.
Yeah, just to do the stone wall.
Yeah, and then you just develop your queen on f6. Rook e8 or rook f6, rook h6, this famous attack, and then bishop takes h2.
Because the bishop is on b2 right now. It's not on. Usually, bishop on f4 is very dangerous because it's targeting all the dark squares which are weak. But in this case,
yeah. So f5 was.
Decent try.
Yeah. So instead, knight f6, and this is the current position. Yeah. This is current position. Okay. So taking everything is. Maybe white can try to play with knight e5 and f3 one day. I don't know if immediately or not. Maybe knight e5. Yeah, knight e5 and f3 looks decent. Yeah. c5 anyway, taking on d5, taking on d5 and f3. Yeah, this is probably how white should play this position. Knight g5 and something like rook to d1. Okay, so this is the current position. And okay, white can play a move like, yeah, just rook d1. But I believe this is like more important, yeah? First you play against the knight on e4, next move is f3.
Yes, you have to deal with it.
Trying, can black, no, probably this is dubious, but I was just trying. Takes a knight g4.
Then...
Okay, playing for tricks once again, yeah? Because if white takes the pawn, then probably this is no queen d2, no knight f2, no queen h4, no tricks.
Oh.
Because queen h4, queen f4, defending everything, knight f2, king f2, queen d2, rook e2. And if queen d2, then just queen takes the knight. Okay, so once again, yeah, playing for tricks is a bad idea. Yeah. So
unless there is time trouble. Trouble.
Yeah. So then knight e5, and black just plays c5 here. Once again, yeah, you can play without c5, but not for a very long time. Yeah, like something like queen c7, queen e7, and then white plays maybe f3, or maybe first knight to e2 even. And this knight might be in danger. Unless there is some tricks here, yeah. Takes knight g4, f3, knight takes e3, queen c1, and the knight is lost.
Oh, the knight's trapped. Okay, double attack.
Yeah, double attack, yeah. Okay, some I mean, some fantasy, nothing, no, absolutely no connection with the reality. So
you would prefer the position with the pawn on f5?
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking, because instead of knight f6, f5, black is controlling the square e5, which is very important. Yeah.
By the way, this position happened in one game. Look at this.
Yeah.
And okay, not such a weak players.
Yeah, Peralta with black pieces is, I think, Argentinian grandmaster. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and we have here also on the first board the Argentinian, who is now representing Spain.
Yeah. Yes. And
knight d to f6.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this current position for Niklesh is a choice to go for knight e5 or not.
I don't know, maybe just a move like rook d1, nothing wrong with this move. Yeah, just bring the rook to the center. You put the rook against the queen, and if c5, there is always, some...
I think when c5, somehow white is always ready.
Yeah, exactly. Even this...
That's why I don't like the c5.
Yeah. So black cannot take with the pawn because bishop f6. Black also probably doesn't want to take with the knight, because after bishop takes, pawn takes, some moves like knight e5, maybe bishop e5, maybe queen c3. So many tactical ideas here. Yeah. So rook d1 or knight e5. Actually, knight e5 allows the move c5. So maybe rook d1 is just stopping everything. Of course, black can just step out from the pin by queen e7, and nothing wrong.
But also, let's not forget, Jakobsen is playing here for potential first place. He has 5.5 points, just half a point behind Pranav. Now he sees the board, obviously, of Pranav. He sees that there is a huge chance for a draw there. And he knows, in order to catch up with him, he has to win the game, which is not so easy. He's playing against top-seeded Niklesh Sarin, super strong Indian prodigy. I mean, this is definitely not such an easy battle, especially with the black pieces. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, in this case, in this scenario, my advice is just play the position. Don't try to look your opponents, your
rating,
everything. Yeah, just play the position. Just try to play the best moves, and if draw happens or some massive trades, okay, you just accept, because you play with black pieces. I mean, you just don't make mistakes. I mean, this is important.
We have another interesting position on board 4. Let's move on there. There is Fujairah facing Abhimanyu Mishra. Abhimanyu Mishra, who had chances even yesterday against the current leader, Pranav. He had a chance to get a huge, I mean, he had a huge advantage. He had a chance to win even. But unfortunately, he didn't. There was a draw. And
yeah, today he plays with super solid Sanam Sugirov.
And he goes for Sicilian.
And yeah, once again, this bishop d5 check against Sicilian. Queen e2, knight c6, c3. Well, I've played myself with white maybe 100 games and with this variation. e6 and d4, yeah. d5 immediately without taking on d4. e5, knight e4, bishop e3. Now taking bishop e7, knight e1. This is the main move, yeah. So now white is trying to trap the knight. f6 or f5. I mean, both moves are actually possible here. Let's say f5 is another candidate here. So f6, f3, knight g5, and knight d3. Yeah, this is how white is playing, and knight to d2. So white is waiting for the retreat of the knight to f7, and only after knight f7, white plays the move f4. Not immediate, because black can jump back to e4. So let's say after knight f7, white plays f4. Now white stabilizes the center. After knight h6, even white can play with g4 here in some positions. Yeah, and black is usually plays on the king side, on the queen side with rook c8. Yeah, so b6 was played immediately, and a3. And once again, yeah, this is still theoretical position. Look at this. Can you believe that Sugiro spent on move a3 more than half an hour? So this is the position. Yes, look at the time situation. Just
let's recall yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. This is theoretical position, very well known. I mean, with I don't know many games here, maybe hundreds. And after b6, on move a3, he spent more than half an hour. a3.
Oh.
I believe this is very important move. Yeah, like, but it's just a move a3. You just push the pawn on one square, and you spend half an hour for this move. Okay, it's just of course.
Maybe it's a personality thing. What do you think? Is it his thing? To spend time. It's like Grishuk thing.
Yeah,
always getting in time trouble.
Absolutely. I mean, he's trying to go deep into the position. I mean, he's trying to find the best move, maybe to play something original. But why this was the super important moment? Yeah. Well, it's actually explanation might be simple. Yeah. So around here. His knowledge, let's say, ended, and he just decided, okay, let's try to find the plan. Yeah, let's try to go deep into the position. And a3 probably is the move important. I mean, for him to avoid the move knight b4, maybe to play b2, b4 in the future. Okay. So as I know, white also is playing here the rook on e1. Yeah, this on rook e1, trying to force black to play f5 or to trade on e5. Yeah.
Yes.
So rook a to e1, but probably maybe he didn't like the move knight f7, f4, and something like knight b4. Yeah. Otherwise, why do you stop the move knight b4? Okay, so it's this for me. This is too deep. This move a3, and especially you spend so much time. Yeah. Okay, and black can just play rook c8. Maybe black can play a5, a4 idea with knight a5, trying to control the weak squares. Once again, nothing wrong with the move knight f7, but after f4, white probably gets the position, the position that he wants to. Knight h6 and g4. Yeah, this is probably important. Wow. Yeah, you just stop knight f5. I mean.
So it's not even attacking move, but it's or prophylactic.
Yeah, exactly. Of course. I mean, you can use this pawn later in the attack, like with h3, and then bringing the knight on f3. So it's usually like something like rook c8, h3, I don't know, rook c7, knight f3. This is why it's set up. Yeah, everything is under control, and later just play something like rook f2, rook f1, and just start to create some threats on the king side.
Comfortable space advantage, great pieces, and just slow play.
And what else black can do here? Yeah, b6, a3. Well, this structure, I believe that white is better in this structure. Taking with the pawn back, and yeah, you do have this passed pawn in the center, yeah, protect passed pawn. but this is still not an endgame, and white got the majority on the king side. And this might be very unpleasant, yeah? So for the same reason, if you go knight f7, f4, knight h6, g4, and then white just can improve this position. You never can play d4 because white got the square e4, so it's usually considered to be not so good for black. F takes e5. Okay, so knight f7, sooner or later black probably will be forced to play this move. I mean, you can delay. Let's try to delay this move. Let's say by playing a5. Yeah, a5 with idea a4 and maybe
grabbing some space, maybe knight c4 one day.
So and here white can start, let's say, just by rook e1, and now forcing black to take the decision. Yeah, what do you do with this structure? Do you play f5? Do you play knight f7? Do you take on e5? Pawn on e6 actually is not hanging yet. A pawn is not hanging. Okay, let's continue with a4. Yeah, because now taking on f6, bishop f6, bishop g5, bishop g5, and then the pawn on d4 hangs. So now, yeah, rook e1, a4, so white can continue. And if f4, as I said, now black can jump back to d4, to e4, sorry. This is very important, and you cannot take because the pawn on d4 hangs. Taking, knight f2, knight d4. Okay, interesting position. So black can delay the move knight f7 or f5 by just playing a5, a4.
Rook c8, maybe.
Yeah, maybe rook c8. Yeah, this is like normal move. Once again, this is like rook e1.
Just improving.
Yeah.
But anyway, sooner or later you have to make decision. Yeah, knight f7 or take.
Yeah, knight f7 once again. Yeah, we have this. We face this position where white
so maybe
is
take, yes.
And if you take this structure, I just mentioned a little bit earlier that this one might be not the way you want to play, because yeah, you do have this square, you have the control in front of but the majority on the king side is much more important in this position. Maybe black can play something like this and trying to fight for the open file. And this scenario, knight to b3, yeah, and knight d4.
Yeah, look like this. I mean, just going with the knight to d4 makes a lot of sense. Just blockading.
Yeah, blockading, and then maybe white can even push with h4, h5 instead of f4. Yeah, so a3, and now it's time for Mishra to think, yeah?
I know Mishra is thinking.
Yeah, a3, I mean, a deep move, yeah? A deep move, otherwise you don't spend more than half an hour on this a3. Actually, the point is just you stop the move knight d4, yeah? In some position, you don't want to trade your beautiful knight on d3 or the knight on c6. And he did play bishop f4, but I think this is a slight mistake. This is a slight mistake, because after f4, white got the structure that he wants to get, yeah? So knight h6, g4. Okay, anyway, nothing wrong. Black can play this French type of the structure, even by playing f5. But here white slowly improves with king h1, rook g1, h3, g4, doubling the rooks on the g.
There are breaks in the position.
There are breaks, yeah, knight f3. I mean, slowly you can improve forever on this position. One of the games that I remember is the game of Svetushkin against Delchev, played something like 20 years ago. Actually, I recommend that game. Maybe we can find the game here in the database. I don't know.
Maybe we can try to find this position?
Yeah, in this position, it was the game Svetushkin with Delchev. How to find the game? Not easy, yeah? Maybe it was the move b6. It was the move before b6. So to me, that game was something even more important than Kasparov's game.
Here below.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Miroshnichenko, Svetushkin. Okay, that's another game. Yeah, I found the game.
You found it?
I found the game, yeah. So this is the game I want to show, because it produced on me like very big impression. Knight f3, rook c8, rook to c1, b6, bishop d2. So white just slowly improved the position, g4, And g5, yeah, that was very important. Taking some space on the queen side, then g6, king h2, bringing the rooks, bringing the bishop. Very important move. That's just no knight h4, no counterplay. Rook to g2, a4, also taking some space there. Rook a2, lifting the rook. Rook f2, rook g1, bishop d2, knight e1, important. The other rook cannot come. King h1, queen d3, yeah. Okay, maybe it was not.
Of course, not
No, yeah.
mistake.
It's actually, yeah. But somehow it produced. No,
Yeah,
actually.
such a tough strategic battle,
Yeah. Actually, black was winning, yeah. Black won the game.
Black won, yeah.
Okay, but I don't remember why this game was so important for me. Okay, sometimes you just remember the game, which makes no sense. Okay. Okay. So,
but it was a good game.
Yeah, it was Kasparov's game there and other players, but somehow 𝐤𝐬 Светушкин, I don't know why. Yeah, looks how our memory works sometimes. Yeah. So black actually won a nice game. Okay.
So good example for Abhimanyu Mishra.
Yeah, and okay. So knight to d2, b6 and a3, super deep move. Black played the move knight f7, f4 was played, and knight a5. Yeah, this is the current position. This is the current position. So black is trying to bring his knight to c4. Black is trying to bring his knight on c4. Okay, so how to stop it? And do we really need to stop it? Maybe we don't, yeah?
We have to see the structure. What happens after b4, knight c4? And then there will be b5. Yeah, we cannot.
Yeah, so no, this square is too important. Just
so maybe rook ac1?
Rook ac1, rook ac8. And once again, knight c4 is
threat.
The threat, yeah.
And then there is, of course, you can always remove the knight from d3 to f2, but we don't want to remove that.
No, that knight. And once again, even if you do this, if you manage this queen a4, and black can just once again create the threat of knight c4.
But now there is b4, and you have to defend a3 after.
b4, yeah. Knight c6, and then what do you do with the pawn? So once again, yeah, this is the position, rook c1, rook c8. Is knight c4 such a big threat? Can white play this prophylactic idea? I don't know. I'm just trying. Bishop f2. And if knight c4, I wanted to go for somehow take on or f5. No, this is too much, yeah? Yeah, this is too much. And if white ignores, then the knight on c4 is super strong, yeah? Yeah, this is probably super strong knight. I would just wanted to ignore and then just continue my plan with g4, rook e1. I don't know. Okay, so knight a5 is played and rook c1, but I believe that white can just ignore, maybe immediately knight f3. Knight f3, I just give the square, I don't know. Knight c4, bishop f2. And knight alone here does not such a great job, let's say, because white can just play rook e1, concentrate on the king side. So knight a5, I believe that white just should ignore this knight c4 by just removing all the pieces on the way of the knight. Bishop f2, knight c4, knight f3.
Yeah, and bishop f2 was played in state games.
Yeah. Bishop f2 was played, yeah?
Yes, according to other statistics. So this is the master's database, but there is the other one where we show that bishop f2 was played 6 times here.
Okay. Yeah, it's a quite a logical move. Yeah, you just ignore everything and just, okay, the knight is strong on c4, but the knight also can be far from the king side.
It is.
Bishop f2, knight c4, knight f3. Okay, let's try a little bit here. Knight, bishop, knight c4, knight f3. Rook c8 and rook e1, yeah.
But it was a different position. It was after b6, I'm sorry. It was a different position. If we go back.
Yeah.
So if we go back a couple of moves, so before a So after this, instead of a3, yeah, here we also have this bishop f2 move and rook ac1. Okay, so this position here, the bishop f2 was one of the main moves. Okay, but we have a different position already.
Yeah, and probably this can be also a transposition. Yeah, as I see here, there is a transposition. So knight a5 and just maybe bishop f2 here. Yeah. That is the game Roder Arkhipov back in 2000. Yeah. Okay.
So one game was still played here, yes?
Yes.
Okay, we might get there. What I suggest, probably let's check the first board. What is the leader Pranav doing against Alan
By
Pichot?
the way,
What happened?
Yeah, exactly. So Black didn't play very convincingly this game. So rook e8 check, probably missing here a little bit. I mean, first you have to, the correct way is you take on e1.
And then you play king f7.
Or even you don't play, let's say this, rook d4, and b3, and you play immediately b5. So if you want to make, not really, yeah? So I was
maybe
just
king f7
king
first?
f7 first, yeah. And then you play for, let's say, king f6 and b5. So if you want to make a draw, just change all your 4 pawns for 3, sacrifice the pawn,
and suffer with 3
a little bit
against
suffer, but it's not a big suffer, just symbolic suffer, yeah, I would say. Yeah, instead Black played for rook d1, rook e8 was missed probably, and now this position is already slightly better. Yeah, king e2 and rook d3, and look, Pranav is playing for a win here.
He is, yeah.
It's just better, superior structure now finally, and
now
actually,
it's 3 pawns which are holding 4 pawns.
Yeah, exactly. And imagine the next move is the rook is also cut off. Then white plays rook d5. Also, you cannot activate your king because after king e6, maybe even rook d8, and I'll just start attacking your pawns. But f4 is a huge threat now.
f4
and, also,
and then bringing maybe king closer.
King closer, and also you cannot play g5 because of double attack, yeah, and the game is over. So
what do you do?
I don't know. Okay, anyway, probably Black can play king e6 here. Yeah, but this one you need to.
Yeah, suddenly the rook is in the.
Yeah, exactly.
The
So you cannot activate the king. For white, the plan is so simple: just f4, king e4, king e5. If you let me, maybe g4.
Maybe rook h6 or rook h5, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Rook h5, g4, rook h6, f4.
Rook e3.
Rook e6 check, and now if you play rook down, you lose this endgame.
Oh yes, you lose a pawn endgame.
Yeah, this is classical, yeah. From.
Oh, this is such an unfortunate position to be in.
Yes. Yes. I don't know. I mean, wow. So at the beginning, it looked like both players, they want to make a draw, the quick draw, and after a couple of inaccuracies, one game actually is not easy to play for Black. I mean, I don't know what to recommend. Maybe Black can try to trade some pawns on the queen side. Let's say c6, f4, and play for b5 idea. Okay, white can just ignore with king e4, followed by king e5. No, actually g4 now is a huge threat, yeah? So rook h6, maybe f5, no square e6, no square d6 for the rook, no square h4 because rook h4, g4, and the rook is kind of, okay, not trapped, but, okay, if Black continues with a5, okay, g4.
Oh my god, this is just a straightforward plan, just.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, so probably Black was overconfident that the game will end in a draw soon, and he might be punished for it.
And we might have Pranav getting 7 points.
Wow, that would be like really surprising. By the way, once again, yeah, Pranav is choosing very good strategy, yeah. I mean, you play a simple position. I mean, you might say that, okay, I'm ready for a draw, but I can just continue a little bit the game without, I mean, he's playing with no risk here.
Just pressing a little bit.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Actually, yeah, this might be already unpleasant after king e3. If not lost, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah, because for white it's just a 4, I mean, just clear plan. And
so I just pulled up Pranav's statistics and performance now from this tournament. What do you think his performance rating is?
well, I don't know, but it's clear that it's over 2-8. I don't know.
Yes, you're right. It's 28-21.
Wow. Okay. Impressive.
He
Impressive.
had 4 draws and 4 wins
Okay.
in 8 rounds. And he has won so far plus 23.4 points.
And I expect that he will have more after this round.
Yes.
More rating points, more points in the tournament. Yeah, I mean I mean I think this mathematically this endgame is winning. I don't know, maybe black should try something like very crazy, like rook h6, rook b6, rook b4, and a5. Okay, let's try. f6 and rook b6. If you let me to play, let's say rook b4, or starting with a5, yeah? I don't know how is correct to start. With a5, rook b6, rook b4, and a4. You have to use your majority on the king side. Otherwise, white is just pushing, and no counterplay for black, yeah? Rook b6 or maybe a4, starting with a4. Okay, so yeah, so this is probably the only chance. Only chance with rook h6, a5, a4, rook b6, rook b4. Otherwise, if you just wait a couple of more moves after a4, king e4, it might be too late, this counterplay. So rook h6.
And then you want a4, a5, a4.
And a5, yeah.
Yeah, you have to do it.
And also, I mean, white can try to play the rook d5 here, stopping the rook from b6. I mean, if black plays b6, then no more rook b6, and here maybe just a 5, yeah. Okay, yeah, or rook d2 back, or rook d3 back, of course. Okay, so this is yeah, this is the time to think for Peugeot, because yeah, this might be the only chance to go directly immediately for this. Otherwise, might be losing. Wow. Yeah, I mean, let's show one more time. This probably was a little bit. So in rook e1, rook d2, you do play this, and here probably this is the first mistake, first inaccuracy. Yeah.
And he played very fast, yeah?
He did play there. Probably he missed the move rook e8. He just played automatically.
Played like in 1.5, 2 minutes.
Yeah. So first, look at the position. Yeah. Just we compare with rook takes 4. First you play. Yeah, you take king f7, and then you have the position in the game, but with some temp is up for black. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
You just play very fast. Rook d4, b5, a5, a4, rook b6, rook d6, rook b6, rook b4. I mean, comparing to the game, you have, I mean, enough counterplay. And in the game, he started just losing, just wasting time. Rook e4, another inaccuracy. I mean, the rook is not active here. b3, rook d4. Of course, white is just bringing his king. You cannot go to the queen's end, to the king's end game. It's just losing. Rook to h4, and after king e3. Yeah, we might see one more win for Pranav.
Truly incredible.
Wow.
I mean, he started with a win. It would be also nice to finish with a win. I mean, what a ride it is. He started winning again. First, he was paired against the top seeded Michal Sarin, against whom he lost the last tournament he played, the last rounds.
Really? Okay.
I mean, in the Chennai Masters, yeah, they played against each other. There, Nihal Sarin won. Then Pranav not only getting a revenge, but starting this absolutely remarkable streak of wins and also draws. We saw he had some downs in terms of he was getting bad positions at some time, like against Sugirov. Against Vishra. I think that's 2 games which I can highlight from what we remember. He was having, I mean, not completely losing position, but he definitely was worse. and he was struggling, but he somehow managed to bail out. He managed to come back from those games, and truly impressive, just saving with a draw. And yeah, now he might win it all with the 7 points. I remember you told the winner needs 6.5 points.
Absolutely, yeah.
But he wants to. he wants even more. 6.5 points for him is not enough. He needs 7.
No, it's actually very simple. Yeah, I mean, you play very safe, but if your opponents, I mean, if you get an opportunity to win or to play for a win, of course you do play. You continue the game. Yeah, even the draw secures you the, let's say, sharing the first prize. Yeah, but if you get such an opportunity, you continue because white is like zero risk here. I mean, why not?
Let's check one more time. We have the boards like 2, 3, and 4 because we didn't check for some time, and then we will go for our first break. So let's see. Okay, only one move was played.
Yeah, bishop f5 and c5. Okay.
We were discussing this bishop f5 idea.
Yeah, and now probably bishop is retreating to c7.
It has to keep an eye on the pawn on e5.
Yeah, exactly. And white is just pushing more. I don't know, with knight h4 first, maybe b5. I mean, you push all the pawns, yeah? And now, what do you do with the knight? Yeah, because if knight on e7, then the pawn on e5 is lost. If knight on b8, should take care of b7 pawn. If knight on a5, then the knight might be misplaced long term on a5, yeah? So white just can continue with rook b1 or knight b4, knight h4 also. Let's say knight to b4 might be one of the moves. Also bishop g5, by the way. Sometimes just white gives this bishop. And h6, taking on f6, and knight comes to h4. The other knight jumps to b4. I mean, this knight might be misplaced long term. So yeah, not an easy choice for Tabatabai. I mean, you can try to play the move knight to bishop to f8, yeah? And if white plays b5, you exchange, you trade this pawn e5 for the pawn c5. I don't know. Let's try it. So b5, knight a5 once again, knight e5, and bishop takes c5. This might be interesting. I mean, position is balanced. Also, let's see the pieces. Yeah, let's compare the pieces. All black's pieces are developed. White still needs some couple of moves to bring his pieces into play. Okay, this might be possible. So bishop c7 is like natural move. Yeah, you don't give your strong pawn on e5, but bishop f8 is also interesting. Yeah, you trade the pawn e for the pawn c. Of course, white is not forced to go b5. White can just improve the position by bishop g5, maybe knight h4 next, maybe rook b1, yeah. So, yeah, after bishop f8, I mean, knight h4 maybe first, maybe bishop d2, no, bishop d2 pawn hangs, yeah. Bishop e3. Okay, then after a6, what the bishop does there, yeah. So, by the way, also the move c5 is might be a commitment because it gives the square d5, yeah? Imagine knight on d5 and then knight on c3.
You're right, yeah.
So...
very committing move.
Exactly, exactly.
But c5 is on the board, and Tabatabai is taking time to see where will he place his bishop on f8 and c7. And while he's doing so, let's move on to the board 3, where we have another player, Jacobson, with 5.5 points, who can potentially surpass Pranav. But now looking at his chances on the victory on the first board, of course, it looks now completely different. But still, of course, this would mean for him second place shared secured.
Yeah.
So that would be great, of course.
So h3, yeah, no rook d1, no knight e5, but a safe move h3. Yeah?
Just h3, yeah.
Okay, and bishop b4. So actually, bishop e4 shows black's intentions. Well, black wants to reduce the material, yeah. So black is, I would say, black is not ambitious. Otherwise, you just play c5 and you face all the consequences of the hanging pawns and this position. With bishop b4, you want to reduce material, you want to trade everything on c3, maybe take on c4, c5, and just equalize the game. Okay, it's an interesting approach, nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's natural playing black, you want to trade some pieces and I mean just equalize, yeah. So first you equalize, then if white is over ambitious, then you can get your own chances. Okay, bishop b4, and by the way, let's say this is a kind of a threat, because you cannot play with white like a move like a3, because after taking on c3, taking on c3 with the bishop, bishop c3, knight c3, queen takes c3, black takes on c4, white takes on c4, and bishop takes f3, pawn f3, and c5. So exactly, probably this is kind of position that black wants to get. So the structure is now, let's say, is unbalanced, yeah. I mean, white got the g file, but I don't believe this is so important, yeah. So bishop takes it and c5, and okay, black can try here, black. And instead, I believe that knowing that Niklesh is a very solid player, he never allows such, yeah, bishop takes f3. I believe that he will just play a move like 95 here. 95. Now, if you trade on everything on c3, then no more bishop takes f3. And if you do this, let's say trade everything and play c5, just white brings the rook on d1, yeah. Or you can play for hanging pawns, takes, and taking on d4 or first rook d1. So this is a little bit different of hanging pawns. I mean, if you trade more pieces, of course, hanging pawns are not that great in that scenario.
So this is the current position.
Yeah, I believe that 95 is the move here that Niklesh is thinking about. I don't know what else. Taking on d5 no.
Makes a lot of sense, of course. And let's quickly update on the board 4. There we have Fujairah against Mishra.
So what happened here?
So we were discussing this. Knight f5 was played.
And we are discussing the move bishop f2 or knight f3 just
to keep the position
of the current structure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he decided to change it, yeah.
Oh, it's very interesting.
Yeah, and bishop takes. Okay, probably black also can be ambitious and take with the pawn. And if black is in time to play knight d6, maybe knight e4, f5, bishop f6, then it's a great structure, knight on e4. But probably black is not in time. Maybe white can just push directly f5 and yeah. So instead he took with the bishop and knight e5, yeah. So inviting to the same structure. If you take on e5, f e5, but this time white managed to open the file. Okay, so queen a4.
Queen a4 is on the board, yeah. So one more time, still there is a square on c4. Maybe he's preparing this knight c4 or knight b3.
Yeah.
But the pawn on a6.
Yeah, this we have like a strange-like structure, yeah. By the way, black wants to play with another knight, maybe knight d6, followed by knight c4, or knight d6, knight f5.
Now there is no pawn on e5, so knight can go to d6.
Yeah, so actually this knight d6, knight f5 might be a very strong positional threat.
Yeah, I like it. I like this chance for Abhimanyu.
Okay, almost trapping the queen once again. Queen d3, knight d6, and we play rook e1, and here by mistake black plays the move rook e8 just to defend the pawn on e6. And they have b3, and this is not a trapping queen.
Oh,
okay,
not just
okay.
yet.
The knight on d6 is too strong.
Yeah, we shouldn't have brought the knight on
d6. Yeah. Okay, so but anyway, queen d3 I believe is not a bad move. I mean, white is just taking the control over all the squares, like c4, maybe e4, maybe f5. Yeah, but knight d6 and it looks fine for black.
So white has to get ready for this move, and I think it's also a good moment for us to go on the first break, dear viewers. Thank you so much for watching. It's a final round. We will see what is going to happen today. Who is going to be a winner? Will Pranav manage to win? But we are going to go on a very short break, because then you will have a surprise guest and surprise commentator here. Niklesh will be joining, so stay tuned for more from Fujairah. And welcome back, dear viewers, from the final round of the first Fujairah Global Chess Championship here in United Arab Emirates. One of the strongest open tournaments in the world is being played right now. And today we will see who is going to win it. We already have a winner of the Masters tournament, but now what about Superstars, where we have on the first board Pranav facing against Alan Pichon. And it is a morning round, VRL. I mean, which experience do you have with the morning rounds?
Yeah, once again, yeah, probably I lost all the money, all the titles, everything in the morning. So yeah, it's tough to play for. It's tough to play in the morning, especially if yeah, if you are used to. I mean, to always like to play in the evening and the afternoon. Actually, one of my favorite. I had two favorite tournaments in my life. Is Dubai Open. I mean, like because all the games starting at 5 o'clock and the tournament in Netherlands, Vlissingen, I think open because it's the same. Yeah, it's I think it's round starts at 5 or 6.
Oh,
It's just yeah the best time
the
for
dream,
me.
the
Yeah,
dream.
exactly. You have all your day to prepare and to have some rest, to even to visit some places, and in the night you just play. I mean, chess. Okay, but nowadays chess is more professional. I mean, you have to play morning, night, evening, anytime. You just play chess.
And we have many young players who are adjusted to it. And on the top board, we have Pranav against Alan Pichot. VRL, could you break down what is going on? Because we were
Yeah,
expecting a draw, a pretty short one according to the time, because both players were prepared. But
yeah,
then suddenly something happened.
yeah, and around in this position one more time to highlight. So black starts to make some inaccuracies. So this is one of the inaccuracies, and then this rook's maneuver. Yeah, I mean you are losing so much time. You are losing so much time, and actually you didn't get anything. Yeah, I mean rerouting the rook to d4, h4, and now we need another couple of tempos to bring the rook back, yeah, to h6, b6, and a5. And king e3 and rook h6, at least after, let's say, long thinking, 15 minutes, I mean, black found probably the right plan, but not rook f6. I mean, why do you play the move rook f6? Why do you need this move? I mean, you stop the move f5, but you need to find your you need to the counterplay. Yeah, you need to start pushing on the queen side immediately. Maybe even sacrifice a pawn. Yeah, let's say if white plays king e4, you sacrifice this pawn. You sacrifice the pawn. You need the space for the rook. You need the counter. I mean to counterattack. In the rooks and games, not always important is to the material. Yeah, sometimes you can just sacrifice a pawn to have the activity. Yeah, so activity of the rook is the most important thing in this kind of endgame. Instead, he played the move rook f6, king e4 now, and rook e6 check, king f3.
And again, there is a threat rook e3, so he had to
Yeah,
go back with the rook to f6.
rook f6, and look at the game, look at the move, h4. So king e4, repeating the moves is just securing the, I mean, at least sharing the first place, but white's position is, of course, it's risk-free. Of course, you continue the game by h4. Yeah, I thought g4, but probably in this scenario, black wanted to play g5 and block the structure. Yeah, let's say after rook h6, king e4, something like this. Maybe the rook is not that active. Anyway, I believe this is yeah, and but Pranav just decided to stop any g5 ideas. So next move is h4, and probably black should black should try to stop this g4 advance by playing h5. Ah, but this is just losing a pawn. Ah, once again. So no, h4 a good move, by the way. a5 once again. If you don't try to counterattack, probably you don't. You just lose slowly. So g4, a4. Yeah, big takes a big b takes a4, then rook b6 or rook a6 probably. Rook a6, and so once again a5, g4, a4. So if b takes a4, rook a6. If white just continues with the 5, then anyway you just you have this real counterplay with rook b6 and rook b4 maybe one day and d5, yeah. So without counterplay, you have no chance actually in this position. So let's see. No, a5 was not playing. So after h4, Alain Pichot is still thinking, but I don't know. I mean, black can try to play with c6 on b5, but in this case you cannot activate your rook. Yeah. So after, let's say, c6, g4, b5. How do you activate the rook? Yeah, just white continues with h5, and your rook is still passive. Yeah, you need so many tempos to bring it back, like rook f8, maybe rook a8, a5 to push, but might be too late. So h4, I believe that black should start immediately pushing pawns, trying even to sacrifice just to get counterplay. Yeah, so imagine, yeah, the scenario where black black gives a pawn and changes all 4 pawns for 3. Then it will be a theoretical draw. So this is the chance for black to escape in this endgame.
Yeah, this is a chance what of course Pranav is knowing about. I mean, he's calculating a lot. I was shortly in the playing hall. I saw how it was. I mean, both players are super nervous. I saw that Pranav was also walking like on the whole length of the room that they're playing, because their playing hall is smaller. There are not so many players, so it's a smaller room there comparing to Masters and Open tournament. Also, by the way, I saw Michal Sarin walking in one direction and backward. I think we'll also definitely check his game against Jacobson very soon. But while in this moment, Alain Pichot is taking time. By the way, both players still have enormous amount of time, 1 hour for Pranav and 45 minutes for Alain Pichot. Let's move on to the board 2, where we have Alexander Donchiko against Amin Tabatabai. One more time, Amin Tabatabai has currently 5.5 points. No,
five and a half points. Yeah,
points, correct. So,
just a half a point behind of the leader.
Yeah, so he has still theoretical chance to surpass Pranav, but as we saw in the game in the first round, Pranav is pushing for a victory there. But still, Amin Tabatabai wants to finish at least at the leaderboard, at least at the podium.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we have this super sharp Benoni position. So c5, and here, yeah, black was trying to decide, yeah, where is better to retreat the bishop. And after like long thinking, I would say very long thinking. 25 moves, 25 minutes, and he played the move bishop to f8, which so actually,
was it half an hour or more?
Yeah.
Yeah, 25 minutes.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, and bishop to f8, probably the strongest move. So black sacrifice. Actually, black is actually trading the pawn on c5, and what actually happened in the game? Knight a5, knight e5, and bishop c5. We discussed this position.
Yes.
And yeah, now it's also black got his chances. I mean, black is slightly better developed because still white needs some couple of tempos to complete his development. But probably white pieces are superior, yeah, especially the bishop on g2, knight on e5, and also the knight on a5 might be misplaced, yeah, because you don't have really.
And there are no squares for the knight for a moment, so you have to play b6 at some moment. Then c6 will be weak. I mean, it's so difficult. By the way, how do you deal with this knight on a5? Because for a moment, no squares are there. And if you want to retreat the knight from a5, I mean, b6 would weaken c6 really a lot.
No, you can try with a6, yeah. And if
nice.
Yeah, if you take on a6, then you get the square c6, and if a4, then maybe knight can jump to b3 potentially.
And even betrayed for the bishop.
Yeah. Okay. White, of course, can avoid just playing just a move like rook to b1.
Of course, yeah.
If a6, a4, and still the knight is, I mean, misplaced there, you cannot bring it very easily to the game. So, but instead,
queen f3 was played, and I'm wondering, is a6 possible in this position?
Well, the bishop hangs first of all.
Ah, yeah, bishop is under attack.
Okay, can black play bishop g4 move? No, bishop e6 was played, yeah.
But bishop g4 takes. Knight is defending the morning round.
Yeah, morning round, and the knight on c2. Yeah. Okay, bishop e6, of course, a good move. So black wants to placed his bishop on d5. And while he's thinking, so probably the most logical move on the position is bishop g5. Bishop g5, you pin the knight, you stop the move bishop d5, I think, because bishop takes f6. Okay, morning is difficult to calculate, but let's try. Bishop f6, bishop f3, bishop d8, bishop g2, and bishop takes a5. Exactly, we take this knight which was unprotected.
Yeah, and it's just going to be material.
So bishop g5, and black cannot play bishop to d5, black cannot play knight d5, maybe h6. Just, okay, allowing all these tradings there, takes, and maybe this one is not that bad, yeah? This is not that bad because, okay, the structure is compromised, but from the other hand, all black's pieces are active. There is also bishop's pair advantage.
Yeah, so it's bishop pair advantage against the pawn structure.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a fight.
Yeah, exactly. Knight f3, and okay, now this pawn hangs. Maybe black can just protect the pawn by rook to d8, followed by the move a6 that we discussed.
Maybe rook 8 to d8
A
to remove the rook from the diagonal.
Yeah, that's probably also a good move. Actually, I was a little bit worried. I wanted to move the bishop, but maybe it's no. Maybe this is not so important. Yeah, let's say knight h4, and now a6. Finally.
Finally freeing the knight. But by the way, also b6 would work because now there is no rook, and the plan would be bishop d5 and knight b7.
Yeah, also, by the way, yeah, good idea. Good idea, finally bringing the knight into play. Okay, so Donchenko is thinking, so bishop g5 is one option. Maybe just bishop to d2.
Just putting pressure on the knight.
Yeah, it makes sense. You cannot bring your queen into the game like queen d6 or queen e7. You might, okay, probably. And now I think black should play the same, yeah, with a6, trying to bring the knight. White takes on a6, then rook a6, and the knight can anytime can come back with knight c6. And if you play the move like a4, then knight jumps to b3. Okay, so bishop g5 h6, bishop d2 a6, yeah. So this is black's reactions on white's plan. And if white plays a move like bishop f4, I think that black can play now bishop to d5. This is actually the threat.
Yeah, this is a huge threat. And then trading this bishop on g2 would leave white just with some weak light squares.
Yeah, and absolutely. And then we got also the knight, the square d5 for the knight this time. Okay, so
some threats from 𝐒𝐡𝐤𝐬, which Donchenko has to take care of. Bishop e6 was played.
And now bishop g5, bishop d2. Those two moves. What else? Maybe bishop a3 move. I mean, trying to trade the bishops.
But then trade and then bishop d5 again.
Yeah, and I just want to say that maybe one day this pawn on d4 might be a target. I don't know. With queen f4.
Just attacking the pawn.
Yeah, bishop takes, king takes, queen d5, and knight f3.
Now queen d4 is already a threat.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I don't know. I'm not sure about. Yeah, also pawn a2 might be just hanging. Rook a1, rook a1, rook e1, rook e1, and queen takes a2.
You could have to calculate everything.
Yeah, that's not easy. But maybe queen d6. I don't know. Still knight on a6. O5 is misplaced. Now white productivity. I mean the file. Yeah. So a lot of variations to calculate. So once again, yeah, bishop d2, bishop f4, bishop g5, or bishop a3, trading the bishops.
Many ideas now. That's what Donchenko is thinking about. Meanwhile, board 3, where we have top-seeded Michal Sarin against Brendan Jacobson. Again, Brendan Jacobson has the same amount of points as 𝐒𝐴𝐤𝐬, so he has 5.5 points right now. And if he wins the game, then he's going to secure at least second place, sharing second place. Maybe potentially even surpassing Pranav if Pranav will do a huge mistake against Alan Pichot, which is not so likely, I would say, exactly. But theoretically possible. So we had this position, bishop went on b4, offering this trade of all the pieces. And what did?
Yeah, 95. 95, the most logical move in the position. No more bishop takes f3 idea. rook c8, preparing the move c5, rook to e to d1. Yeah, this time the other rook just to go out of the pin. Bishop takes c3. We have this trades and c5. Yeah, d takes c5, and black is thinking how to take back. And how to take back? That's a good question.
Pawn or the rook?
Yeah.
Okay, let's establish this. Taking on c4 is not possible because then black would lose a pawn.
Or maybe a queen.
Ah, the queen, yes.
Yeah. So taking on c5. Okay, let's try first to take with the pawn. Probably rook takes is safer, but let's try to play with hanging pawns. Yeah. So takes. Okay, white can take on d5, but also white can make a prophylactic move like bishop to c2 first.
White can just wait, yeah.
Or bishop to bishop to e2 allows the knight e4 to jump on e4. So then takes. White takes. Yeah, and we have this classical position with hanging pawns. It's absolutely playable, this one. Yeah, rook c1. Yeah, okay, we have this classical position. Maybe nothing wrong. I believe nothing wrong with black's position. I don't know, bishop f5, let's say. Rook c7. Maybe white should trade the knights with knight g4. If white managed to trade more pieces, then white can put pressure. Just let's just illustrate this. Takes, bishop comes to f3, rook d2, rook d1, then or rook c1, rook c2, attacking the d5, attacking on c5, threatening e4, threatening b4. So it's a position where black just is defending, yeah. And let's try if black takes with the rook. Yeah, taking with the rook.
Which looks more safer option. You don't have weaknesses in forms of the hanging pawns, but then maybe you also don't get any initiative at the same time. Because I think even hanging pawns, I mean, you can create some initiative, you can try to be ambitious in some variations, but when you're taking with the rook, I mean, basically what you're threatening maybe to take on c4, but then pawn structure will be just mirrored.
Yeah. Okay, and white is more active here.
And by the way, I think rook c5 was played.
Rook c5 was played, yeah. So he decided not to go for hanging pawns and taking with the rook. Okay, b4 might be an option. Also, queen d4, centralizing the queen. Looks not bad. Looks not bad. You just centralize the queen. Maybe you bring the other rook on d1. Maybe you have the threat of d4.
And black cannot take on c4 again due to bishop h7.
Yes, it's already classical.
Yes.
Bishop takes h7.
Okay.
And yeah, queen d4. Okay, maybe also white can try immediately the move b4, but it's actually weakening a little bit the pawn on c4. But let's try this. Rook to c to c7. I don't know where is
c7 maybe.
C7, yeah. And once again, maybe the move queen d4.
And now pawn b6.
No, pawn on b6. Yeah, exactly. Then rook c1. Maybe one day white can play with c5, creating the passed pawn, because white controls the black squares, even f4. Let's say, imagine the position of c5 and then f4, rook c1.
It's not easy at all.
It's not easy at all. And once again, d takes c4 is not possible. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. So rook takes c5, b4 immediately probably looks more energetic, and probably this is the way. Or queen d4, calm move, which also keeps probably white slightly better position.
Yeah, looks like it. And yeah, now of course for Niklesh an easy choice to go to push for b4 or not. And meanwhile, let's move on to the board 4, where we have Fujairah against Mishra. We were discussing this very interesting pawn structure and some opportunities for black, that there could be a c4 square for the knight.
And by the way, we missed an idea here that Fujairah played, the move b3.
Oh, just attack.
Just b3. So yeah, and queen, the pawn cannot be taken, because if knight takes b3, queen d1 is just losing a piece. This is just losing a piece. And yeah, and after.
And by the way, only one square for the queen.
Yeah, you are forced to retreat back. So yeah, so there is no knight on d6. You cannot go to b5, and he played queen to b8. Now rook c1.
But it looks like Abhimanyu Mishra should have considered this b3, and maybe he wanted to provoke it.
Yeah, maybe it was it was maybe just a provocation. I don't believe he missed this b3 move.
So now knight on d2 is pinned to defend the pawn on b3, probably. That could be one of the ideas.
Rook c1, rook c8, and this is the current position. And let's say if white plays the move like queen to d3, which looks logical, defending the pawn on b3, and now white wants to bring the knight, let's say knight f3, knight g5. Now black plays the move knight d6, and maybe black can just play the same idea, maybe even in a better reduction. But yeah, this knight queen b5. Now both pawns might be hanging, a3 and b3. Let's say queen takes
everything
b5,
now, yeah.
knight b5, a3 hangs, b3 hangs, everything hangs. Okay, so interesting play. So if queen d3, then knight d6, and follow it by queen b5. Maybe white can stop this by, let's say, queen d3, knight d6, and a prophylactic move like a4. No more knight b5, no more queen b5. Okay, black, if knight f5, then bishop f2, everything is under control. Also, by the way, black can try to use the square b4, knight c6 back, and knight b4. And there is square b4, there is square f5 for the knight. And okay, I mean, white got the square e5, but in exchange, black also got some
and queen a6 was played.
Queen to
a6.
Queen to a6 so far, yeah. Okay.
So far, so fast.
So far, so fast.
And there is no queen e7 because rook on c8 is hanging. Does it mean Abhimanyu Mishra has to give up the c file, or is there some other move which defends the pawn and still a rook on c8? It looks like rook c1 and queen e7.
No, rook c1, rook c7, but then the move b4, and what do you do with the knight? I mean, takes, queen e7, b4, and this is maybe just losing a pawn directly. I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
Losing the pawn.
So it means there should be a way to defend.
Yeah, I believe, okay, there are two ways. So first, white can just give up and say, okay, I cannot bring my knight to
give
d6.
Up?
Yeah. Give up for this idea, and takes, I don't know, taking
not
away.
resign, but just give up an idea.
Yeah, just give up for one idea. Takes, and something like queen d7 now. Which, okay, then black brings the knight back to c6. Another knight can go to h6, f5. I mean, black's position is okay.
You can prepare rook c7, rooks f to c8, doubling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is one idea. I don't know. Maybe white can take with pawn f. Okay, I don't see that it's a big difference.
Now it's just a pawn f file is open, so
the file is open. Yeah, maybe white can, I don't know, bring the queen back to d3, then trying to play with knight f3, or maybe the prophylactic move h3 here. Because on knight h6 there is g4. So.
But on knight h6, g4, rook f1. Do you take with a rook? I mean, you have to take.
Okay, then first I take on f8. Let's do this in this way. Take, and now g4.
Yeah, because there was rook c3 potential.
Yeah, and white controls all the square and the f file. Also, white took the control of the c file. This might be, of course.
It looks great.
I mean, of course, white can take on h6 anytime, and also this is probably.
So let's move back to the current position. So queen a6 is on the board, and now big question: to take on e5 or not? Is there any other idea which can defend?
I saw another idea to sacrifice a pawn by playing the move knight c6. I don't know if it even cannot be even called a pawn sacrifice, because probably black is trapping the queen. If rook c6, queen c6, queen a7, rook a8, but probably white can take this pawn immediately, yeah?
Now queen c8 maybe?
Queen c8 or maybe knight d6.
Because after knight d6 there is queen a6.
Yeah, then knight f5 comes with tempo. And pawn d4 is lost. So, yeah, this is okay. Also queen c8, yeah?
Because queen c8 is a threat to rook c1. So if rook takes c6, or queen takes c6, queen a6, rook a8. That was my idea.
Yeah, but probably white can defend the rook by playing knight f3. and then knight jumps to e5, rook c6, rook c6, rook c1 is the threat.
There is no bishop d4.
So probably, yeah, white takes the control of the file and this.
Okay, you're right. So knight d6.
Yeah, probably knight d6, and then the threat is knight f5, knight f5, knight b5. I don't know if white plays a move like knight f3. Okay, now everything is under control, yeah, apparently. Knight b5. Knight b5, queen a6, yeah? Okay, it's not so easy. It's not so easy. I mean, it's not easy to prove the compensation for the pawn.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I don't know. Knight f5, bishop f2. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's a pawn up. I mean, yeah, the queen on a7 is misplaced, but okay, maybe just black can take on c1, and jump with the queen on b5. Not sure about, but okay, let's try. Pawn b3 hangs. Maybe queen wants to come to d3.
And also, by the way, look at the clock situation. 20 minutes difference. Sugiura is 27 against 47 for Abhimanyu Mishra.
Yeah, but not an easy choice after queen a6, yeah? So, yeah, you have two ideas, yeah? Or you play knight e6 and you sacrifice the pawn, or you take on e5, and then you play just queen d7. So, I don't know, I don't see anything else. I don't see anything else.
Yeah, this is definitely two ideas for him. So let's check how is the endgame of Shankland against Jose Martinez. We had there the famous Berlin endgame, and we see there is a rook endgame already.
Exactly. So once again, we had this position after the opening, and yeah, everything actually that we discussed was played. Yeah.
Knight f5.
Knight f5, bishop e6 back. Knight takes e7, bishop e7, knight g3, preparing f4, f5. King d7, king c6, this is a very typical maneuver. g6, knight f4, h5, f3 takes, taking with f, yeah?
Okay, take with h. Yeah.
H probably rook h4, rook h8. It's white is black is very fast. King to c6, king g2, rook d8, bishop e3, bishop c4. Yeah. If you don't take the bishop, we save the bishop. We keep the bishop. And g5. Look at this idea. Wow.
Ooh, where to go with a knight? Knight d3 cannot go.
No,
and if you take on c4,
probably you're forced to take. Otherwise, bishop d5 check and.
Yeah, you have to take on c4.
Yeah.
No,
and
knight h5.
Knight h5 was played. Okay, bishop d5 check, king g3.
Wait, what is happening?
And rook h5.
Wow, look at this.
It's brilliant. And rook h8. Wow.
Ooh, what a play by Jose Martinez. He had in the second round, third round against Motilov. There was this end game, which we thought, okay, it's going to be very fast draw. And then, okay, Motilov did a couple of mistakes and Jose Martinez kept on pushing. And here we have similar situation. We have an end game and he finds a sacrifice out of nowhere. Looked like a...
Wow. This is a really good example of, actually it shows his understanding of Berlin endgame.
Is this coming to your files, this sacrifice?
For sure, that's for sure. I will include in all my files this rook sacrifice, exchange sacrifice, and white is actually forced to give the exchange back. So nothing. I mean, otherwise bishop e6 next, and you just defend forever this position. Okay, bishop e6, rook f1, king d7, rook d1 check, king e8, rook f1. Yeah, white is already. I mean, white is ready to repeat the moves, but no. Rook e4. Okay. Rook e3 check, king h2, rook e2, rook g2, rook takes e5. Pawn up for black. Pawn up for black, but yeah, rook's endgame is always not easy, especially white has this passed pawn. Rook e3 to cut off the king, yeah? Interesting. And b4. Okay, b4. This is a surprising move. So probably no useful move for white. Yeah, white just wants, because imagine black will just push the pawns like a5.
And just create a passer.
Yeah, but why not h5, rook e5? Okay, so no time for white to push the pawn.
No way to defend the pawn later.
Yeah, this endgame is probably lost. This is probably lost. Because white just create here a passer. So thanks to pawn on c4, yeah? Because if black pawn would be on c5 and white pawn on c4, you cannot create passed pawn. But on this structure, I mean, you just take on b3 and you play just b5, c5, you can create. It's very important, this pawn on c4.
So b4 was played.
b4 was played, yeah, and now it's not easy to create a passer here.
So he's trying not to get opportunity for this trade.
And that's why maybe slightly more accurate, maybe it was to take first. I mean, take and now.
And then have 3 against 2.
Yeah, exactly. And now you can create a passer here. Okay, so, but it was really very hard to expect this move. Wow, d4.
But now, by the way, is there rook a3?
Yeah, but I'm very fast with my h pawn in this case. And you don't have the move rook a5, one more advantage of the move b4. Otherwise, rook a5 would be winning here. Yeah, so
nice.
Yeah, b4 is a nice move. Okay, black can just, okay, first you need to play this prophylactic king f8. Yeah? Just avoid any, let's say, dangerous push of white's pawn. Once again, white is up. By the way, white is in kind of Zugzwang here, because you cannot push the pawn h because of rook e5. If you trade the rooks here, I believe this is also lost. Okay, it's of course not easy calculation, but I know this time is not, yeah. Okay, so learning, yeah. So rook e3 now is possible thanks to b4 pawn, and black cannot create pass.
Now it's a different story. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so how to proceed here with black?
Rook to a4. Okay, first rook a4, probably rook e4, king h3, and rook e1, or immediately rook e1. Yeah, immediately rook e1. No, not so easy.
Maybe including rook e2 check, so that rook goes back to g2.
Oh yeah, okay, very good. This we call technique.
Yes, and now we have to see rook e4 or rook e1.
Rook e1, I believe, because rook e4 allows the white to activate the king. No, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Okay.
Chess is not an easy game. So then rook e4, king h3, and maybe c3, trying to.
Wait a second. Can it be the trade on g2?
Wow.
Can it be that?
So huge difference. But try to.
Wow. Try to pick it up.
Yeah, exactly. And how do you? I mean, with the king on g3, same position. This one is draw. And with the king on g2, this is losing.
Oh my God. No, this is so difficult to find it.
Yeah, okay. And I don't know what is the idea, how black wins here. Okay, let's play simple. And simple is not, yeah? So c3 probably first.
Maybe, can it be some b5?
b5.
c5? No.
Then taking on. Yeah, okay, might be c3 first. I don't know why. Not like once again, yeah? Okay, let's try it. Let's trust your intuition.
Wow.
b5.
Wait, what? There was some jump.
Let's say king f3, c5 and b4. How do you make a passer here? And now king g7.
So first we fix the pawn structure.
Yeah.
Now we go for the h pawn.
And go for the h pawn. White goes for the
f pawn. Maybe f5 included. I'm not sure.
Sorry, I'm trying to play a direct variation first.
I know, yeah.
And if this doesn't work, and black goes for the c2 pawn.
Wow, I mean, but okay, it's so tough to see this.
Yes, extremely tough.
You have to find all the
and this and this and this.
King d3.
Black,
king d3, or c3, yes.
Yeah, black is much faster.
Oh, no, this is so tough.
Yeah.
And you have to find this only moves in the
So
position.
b4, king f8. I mean, waiting use for move, and then you try to calculate the
But rook g3 was not played, yeah?
No, probably not yet. Yeah.
Oh, wait a second, but something was. So b4 right now is a move, and we were discussing.
The move king f8.
King f8, yeah.
Can black actually start with b5? Now I'm thinking, if this move is so good, maybe we start with b5, yeah?
Rook g5, maybe.
Rook g5, a6.
Now h5.
h5, yeah? King f8.
What do you play?
H6, rook a6, winning the pawn. Or at least trying to get the pawn. Rook h5 and king g8. And black is in time to stop. And okay, instead of h6, maybe white can play the move like rook c5.
Yeah, I also was thinking.
By the way, a4, no, a4 is a little bit too much. Rook c5. Now black takes the pawns. And take more pawns.
So maybe indeed a4.
Well, hard to believe this could be this is the move, but who knows? Yeah.
Okay, not.
No, the move is good. The move is good. Probably it makes draw.
Takes and then rook a5.
Rook a5, yeah, exactly. Rook a5.
Because here, if white wants to keep a pawn, it has to play a3, and other than that. But then, if once it takes, we take on a3. I mean.
Yeah, but it comes with check. And if rook king g1, then the king is on the first rank. Maybe just king g7 move first. Or okay, maybe taking. Oh, it's so hard. c5, b5, rook a2. Takes c3 and just any move, yeah.
Also, there was rook h3 here. Rook h3.
King g2.
Taking the h pawn.
Rook takes a3, but this I believe is white is very close to draw in this scenario.
Okay.
So what is the move here? So no rook c2, no king g7. You know what is the move here?
For black?
Yes. I don't know exactly, but it just looks beautiful.
I'm trying. What can? Wait. No, this doesn't. It does. No, I thought rook b3, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's also. Yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah. No, actually, the rook here is very strong. Yeah, potentially protecting this pawn. Yes, very good. I believe. Let's try. This is the move. Yeah, c6 is the winning move, and the black's idea is just to play king g7, king h6, taking the pawn. If you come for this pawn, black can play rook h3 anytime, and there is no counterplay for white. Yeah, king f1, king g7, not king g7. Again, it's king g7, the most, let's say, logical move. Then we push another. Yeah, and we have this famous trousers, yeah.
Not easy to stop. You can even sacrifice. Other rook c3.
Yeah. No, but we just keep all our pawns. This. No.
But wait, it's
working.
Yeah,
it's working. Yeah. It's working or not?
Rook c6 maybe.
Rook c6, a2. So king takes rook f2. Then hundreds checks, and then we move the king. Why this f3 is not winning?
Maybe h6.
Nice. f2.
h7.
Or first check, because f7 king g7. So first check. King f7. h7. f1. Okay, try to calculate all these things, yeah? And
Knight.
Queen, and there is no checks here. Okay. Thank you very much.
Very easy to find.
Yes, yes. And probably why black here sacrificed the rook, rook d3 or rook c2, and just it's perpetual, yeah?
No, this is
So
crazy.
rook d3 and we have this perpetual. Okay.
What the line? What the easy line?
Yes.
I suggest we go to the current position and see if anything new played. Okay, b4 is on the board. We have some development on the first board. Let's move on there because there a5, a4 was played by Alan Fishaw. So let's show the current position.
So it started from here. Okay, losing a little bit of time. a5, rook d5. Yeah, probably precise to close the rook. b6 and g4 now. a4 anyway, and pawn takes. Yeah, but here is not the same because it's not easy to bring the rook. Yeah, we need
now anytime rook e6, rook e5.
But why do you waste time for g6? Why not rook f8 directly and immediately and rook
maybe rook h5 or something? No.
h6, rook g5, g6. Maybe white plays a5 here. Rook a8. And okay, rook a this, rook a8. Yeah, this is what I was telling that black can sacrifice this pawn, yeah, and now got activity. Black got activity.
Can there also be move rook e5? My idea is king has to go to d7.
Yes.
And then I play rook f5. Or first rook h5, h6, rook f5. And then we are getting a position where black is forced to trade the rooks, and if not, then...
Let's try this.
Or first rook h5, I'm not sure.
First rook h5.
Then h6. And then rook f5, I don't know.
Wow. And why this h6, the provoke h6 is so important.
Once again. Don't know advice.
So rook f5 immediately, it's not winning.
Probably because king cannot enter. King g4, king h5, king g6.
Do you have also courses on rooks on game or not? Not
no
yet,
endgame
yeah?
courses yet.
Okay, now it's time to after this, I believe. Wow, so this very important provocation is just decisive. Why? No idea, but it's so important, yeah?
Yeah, so the problem is that black cannot stop the checks from the...
And here probably wins. But in that position, what is the difference if to play?
I think transposition to the pawn endgame.
So instead rook e5.
Maybe a take pawn endgame.
And this is losing. So pawn endgame, yeah. And the difference is that here there is no king h5, and there, let's say, h6, rook f5.
And here,
takes.
maybe even I'm just thinking.
King g4, king f6, and this tempo, yeah. No, to e4, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure where.
Here, there, and
maybe this h5.
Yeah, and there is no tempo, yeah.
And the problem will be now if c6 is played for black, white has a5 and takes a4.
Wow, and brilliant.
Or not.
And draw. Brilliant and draw. a3 maybe.
a3. I just sorry. Why to give up a pawn?
And finally we understand why we needed the move h6, because here we have this typical idea. Taking king f5. Wow.
And there would be pawn on h7.
Yeah, and with the pawn on h7 there is king e7 and black holds. But with the wow, such an intuition. Amazing. Wow. and this is winning because yeah, white just enters with the king. Wow.
Okay, yeah.
Great. Okay.
With the help of a valuation bar.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, this is
interesting
great.
idea. Yeah.
So what happened instead? Instead he played the move g6, which honestly I don't like. I mean, usually you don't play on the side where you are worse. Check. That's actually a tricky move. Yeah, asking what do you do? If you stay with the king on f, then your rook is misplaced. If you go with the king on d, then the king is cut from the king's side. Yeah? Good check. Decide. What do you do with your king? Okay, let's try.
Maybe if he goes, maybe there could be even h5 move already for white.
Yes, if king goes here, then h5, yeah?
I don't know, at least.
Yeah, and if rook d6, we have the move rook d5 anytime. And not so easy, yeah? Or first we trade first, yeah? Probably we don't compromise our structure. And there is no rook e6 because rook
now rook
e7,
e6, yeah.
and we win the pawn and game. So basically after king f7,
So this is a similar idea what we discussed, that the rook is always coming and there is no way going into the pawn end game.
exactly. And if the king goes to the queen side, then probably the same scenario.
Still, yes.
And once again, rook d6 is losing because of the pawn and game. And let's say blacks try with rook f8 to play rook a8 one day. Okay, we can anyway take, and maybe here rook g5, maybe king e4 first. Probably white is much faster. This is what I think. Okay, black also eliminates some pawns here, but
check, yeah.
But I think that white is much faster. Rook g7, g5. I mean, still you have. I mean, you have only one passed pawn against two.
No,
Yeah.
this is just great position. Alan Peugeot was 24 minutes on the clock, now thinking in which direction to go with the king, but as we can see, all can result in the same outcome. And one more time, we might see Pranav with 7 points, winning the tournament ahead of everyone.
Just incredible. I mean, okay. I mean, I would predict a quick draw, yeah, after massive exchanges, but yeah, some inaccuracies in the end game, and that's it. I mean, you don't save the game.
Exactly.
Don't save the game. Yeah.
So let's move on to the second board. There we have Donchenko against Tabatabayev with some sharp position of this reversed Benoni.
And yeah, and here we discussed all the possible moves with the bishop: d2, f4, g5, a3. And finally, what did he choose? He chose this one, yeah? Okay.
Okay, makes sense, yeah.
Makes sense. Rook to c8. By the way, I think we had this move, yeah, in our analysis. a6, yes, trying to bring the knight back. Or now you get or the square b3 or the square c6 for the knight. Okay, probably rook c8, nothing wrong with this move. You develop your rook, put it on the open file. Queen f4, targeting the pawn on d4, also opening the bishop. Bishop to b6. Pawn is under attack, knight is under attack, and now white is thinking, yeah? Only two moves played, and I mean Tabatabayev improved his position comparing to, let's say, 4 or 5 moves ago. All his pieces are into the game. Yeah, knight a3, knight a3. Wow, I don't like this move.
Wow, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I like the reaction.
Yeah, what do you do with this knight? Knight a4.
Was not expecting this phrase after wow.
No, come on. Okay, I understand now. But white wants to play knight e4 just to sacrifice this pawn by trading all the knights, and like at the end, the pawn on b7 will be targeting. Okay, maybe it's not that bad. It's not that bad, yeah. Knight a3 followed by knight c4. Interesting idea by Donchenko.
Yes, I mean, he is trying. I mean, definitely. It's also it's difficult for me to understand also the computer evolution.
Look at this square.
C3.
Yeah, let's go there. Let's jump. 95. Where do you move the queen to? F3, yeah, problem. F3, E4 comes with tempo.
Yeah, F3 looks like
yeah, and knight C3.
Okay.
Doesn't look bad. Yeah, the knight on C3.
No, it doesn't, of course.
Of course. Look, my next move is bishop D5, maybe F6. I mean, targeting all the pawns, A2, B5.
And then, like, do you want to give up the bishop on d2 for a knight on c3? I mean, maybe you are forced to because bishop d5. But then suddenly rook comes to c3, maybe pawn comes to c3. And
no. No, probably white just continues his plan with knight c4.
Then bishop d5.
Okay, you just ignore it. And what can you do?
How to ignore?
I mean, just something like
queen f4.
Yeah, just ignoring them. So
Because bishop g2, pawn is hanging on f7,
and
of
there is
course.
small intermezzo.
Small, tiny.
Yeah, tiny.
Okay, so there is not really threat, okay.
And yeah, and now f6, but also f6 is weakening the king side. Probably this is the move to play, yeah? f3, knight to f3, knight f3, knight e2. Okay, one more blunder this morning. And, but what else?
I mean, it's tough to find the move.
Maybe knight takes a5, but then pawn takes e5.
You don't really want to trade the light squared bishop, but maybe you have to.
Okay, bishop d5, queen d5. And once again, knight f3, knight e2 check. To me, this here, white just losing material. White is just losing material, but...
Okay, let's try again.
Actually, it's not easy because the knight hangs on a5. So white can play this move. So if knight e2, then rook e2, and the knight hangs on d5. The knight hangs on a5. So, and
then knight c4.
Knight c4, just winning the pawn, yeah. Chess is very simple, okay. Just take the pawn. So maybe white could take on a5 first, yeah? Knight a5, but no, then taking the knight on b5. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what is the move. I mean, this knight is... okay. Then it's maybe taking the bishop on b6. Taking the bishop on knight c4.
Oh.
This tricky line. And if knight e2, rook e2, knight b6 at the end.
Winning back material.
Takes, knight b6 and winning back material. Okay, it's not easy calculation here. So Donchenko, this is the first game where Tabatabai is doing better on clock.
By the way, yes, you're right. Tabatabai always is low on the clock.
Yeah, exactly. And and after, yeah, this is the current position, yeah. So black is thinking, of course, the knight, the maneuver of the knight, knight d5, knight c3 looks so natural and strong probably. But anyway, yeah, I don't know, black maybe can try to pin the knight, the bishop c7. Why not? I believe this is also not a bad idea.
And there are so many ideas for black, by the way, in the position. You have to somehow combine them all and understand, because also at some moment the knight and a5 can hang. At some moment you can have this knight c4 and, by the way, knight d6 ideas, because at some moment queen will protect the pawn on the square on d6.
Yeah. What about Petrosyan-like idea, rook c3?
I know you like sacrificing.
Yes. And if white takes, I don't know, this diagonal might be pawn. Okay, pawn is strong. Okay, this is like an idea. Now, of course, knight d5, knight c3 is so natural. Also, bishop c7.
It is. So let's move on while Tabatabai is taking time. We have board 3, where the top-seeded Michal Sarin is facing against Brandon Jacobson, the second player after Tabatabai, who can still try to catch up with Pranav, or at least secure shared second place.
So b4 was played, rook c8, not rook c7, and c5, immediately creating the passer. On the queen side, a5, very important move actually. You trade as many as you can the pawns on the queen side, and takes, knight d7, massive trade, rook to b1, bishop to c6, rook to b6, queen c7. This is the current position. Yes. Of course, white is just better. With this pawn, maybe white just can bring the rook to an a5, maybe queen to a3. I don't know, rook a5, let's say. And then queen comes to a3.
Just putting pressure.
Just putting pressure. Maybe rook a7. One day, maybe even white can trade the bishops. Trade the bishop and try to push the pawn.
I just look at the bishop on c6 and the bishop on d3. These are two different bishops. Two different kind of bishop. This bishop on c6 is a French defense bishop.
Yeah, but anyway, if you want to, if you want to win this position, probably you will be forced to trade. bishop b5 and to push c6. Otherwise, it's not easy to. So let's say black trades one rook, one pair of rook. I mean, I don't know white.
So you have to say that the bishop is bad, but it's a good defender.
It's a good defender,
It's
exactly.
a bad bishop, but it's a good defender.
Exactly.
Okay.
This is probably the way. Yeah, and if you want to, okay, maybe not immediately, let's say play a move like g3 here first to secure the king, and still we need to trade that bishop. Still we need to trade that bishop. Okay, so Niklesh is better, but it's not so simple. Let's say queen to b4, maybe white can play. Yeah, if rook a8, just trade one pair of rook. Maybe rook b1 here. No, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. Maybe another way is just trying, maybe f4 queen c5, I don't know, might be an idea. Trading the queens this time, yeah, trying to bring the rook to a6. Or maybe rook a6 immediately.
And VRL, I'm sorry for interrupting, but can we go to the board 5, because what we discussed happened.
Wow.
So rook g3 was played. Let's start again from the beginning. So
okay. Rook g3 was played, yeah.
So it was b4 move. What was the last play? So here we left b4.
King to e7.
Not king.
Okay.
Rook g3.
G3, rook e2 check, rook e2, and now.
And now I think he's calculating rook g2. What do you think?
Yeah, of course, for sure. But it's okay. So what did we say? It's a crucial move, b5, yeah?
Yes,
it's
b5 and then going for the pawn.
And this is very important resource. And then at the end you calculate, I mean, you take that one and basically you play against the weakness c2. Your pawn is more advanced. White needs more time to win the pawn c7 and just to win the game. Okay. I like it very much. Okay. I like this. Okay, so just calculate. Yeah, just calculate. Takes b5. I mean, it's affordable. It's affordable. It is
affordable.
It's not that difficult.
And also one short update on the board 1. Let's go to our leader Pranav against Alain Pichot. We had king f8. So rook e5. Check, this is where we
king f8.
King f8 and a5.
Okay, but this is completely different situation. Right, like if after king d7 a5, now it's not that simple because black is in time to create some threats, yeah, with rook a8, rook a2, I mean rook a4 at least. There is some counterplay, but with the king on f8, the king is so passive there. After a5,
this is a different story.
Yeah, imagine white even can push a6. I mean,
you don't take on a5.
Yeah, but taking is also probably losing. Rook a5, both pawns are under attack.
But you also cannot push. I mean, what to do?
This is game over. Okay, maybe rook d5, rook d6, rook d6. And I was thinking, is rook d5 winning here or not? Rook takes, pawn takes, and now you have to take on a5, and just king e4. Yeah, king e4, king d3. Okay, let's show to our viewers how this endgame is winning. Maybe white starts with king e5 here, and then f5 or g5. No, this endgame is just winning.
Okay, I mean, we're a lot of position. And I think also a good moment, we're going, dear viewers, to take a break, but it is going to be super short for you. And you're going to have a very special guest coming into the studio with VRL. So, dear viewers, stay tuned for more. Just in one moment, you will see the swap. I don't know, do we do it live or? Okay.
So yeah, thank you, Niklesh, for joining me. So what do you think? What is your impression of the last round?
It's very exciting what is happening in the board number 1, because I thought in one moment around move number 26, 27, I thought, okay, this is going to be a draw.
Yeah.
But then Alan decided to play more. And what do you think about this position? Like,
Really? I don't. I think actually he actually wanted to make a draw.
yeah, but if you go to continue from black to
Yeah.
blue,
If you
like
want
this
to make a
action,
draw, if you want
this,
to make a draw,
yes, yes, here. This
yeah,
is the move. I think rook d4. I was thinking
yeah,
about here. No, no, here
yeah,
even go
rook
back.
d4, king e2.
Yeah, but now this is why white already better.
Exactly. So what I am saying, I don't believe that Alan was playing for more than a draw. Actually, he made the accuracy started from here. So
Here,
king
here.
f8 is already in accuracy. You are losing very precious time. So if you want to make a draw, you take first, and now you bring the king to
Now you
f7,
bring to king f7.
and you have so much time for counterplay here. Yeah, you just push the pawns. You play a5, a4. I mean everything like in the game, but with like extra 5, 6, 7 tempos. Yeah. Instead,
But what do you think about, for
yeah,
example, in this position when he go for exchange, even this exchange went, continue,
yeah, yeah.
here. After this here, even what do you think about how black should continue here? If not rook e4.
Here it's already not so easy.
Yeah,
Not so
because
easy because the threat is rook d7. You cannot change the rooks.
yes, that's
Definitely, yeah.
that could be disaster.
Yeah, and
Right
what do
here.
you do? The threat is rook d7.
Yes. So what about here? Play rook e7 first.
Yeah,
Okay,
rook
rook
e7
7.
is
Yeah, just
natural
keep,
reaction.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and in this scenario, okay, white maybe can push the pawns. I don't know with g4 or f3 and then g4. Let's start with g4.
G4 now. Yeah, you can go for king f7,
King f7, f3, slowly improving the position
and then maybe you
because
have to.
rook e3, king f2, no squares for the rook on the third rank, and slowly white is improving with king f2, h4, h5, rook d5. I mean, still you once again you cannot bring the king.
Yes, you cannot bring the king.
You
So
cannot activate the rook also.
maybe you have to play somewhere like
A5, A4, yeah.
a5.
Yes, yes, this is the way to play. This is the way to play. In some moment, you will activate rook. You will be forced to.
Yes.
Say A4, H4.
Yeah.
But this in game is not easy to play.
Yeah, definitely rook endgame, and
So-
especially this kind of endgame, only white have a chance, winning chances
Exactly.
because of
Exactly.
pawn structure. So
So it's not about that Alain Pichot wanted to started to play for a win. No, actually, he just made a, let's say, a pseudo-active move, rook d4, and after king d2, suddenly
it was normal. Yeah.
yeah, suddenly you don't have time to to bring your. I mean, you need a lot of time to bring your rook back into play, yeah, because the only counterplay is with f5, a4,
A5.
and he could do this in a much easier way, yeah.
Yeah.
And after king e3, I believe that the game is lost. This game, I believe, is lost.
Now it's very difficult to
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
But after now, Pranav is very good situation, and I think this is going to be a very big victory for Pranav chess career.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I don't recall he won this kind of tournament before.
Yeah, probably you know him better because can you share some, I don't know, some thoughts about, I mean,
Pranav, I'm watching him from like you can say from last 7 to 8 years, and
yes.
when this is the time when Pragyananda, Gukesh, Arjun, they are going, Nihal, they are
So
growing up.
he's from the same generation, yeah?
Actually, age-wise, you can say same generation, but actually, terms of talent and these things, you can say, okay, maybe after this, the Indian generation are coming so fast, so like they are almost 1 year gap or something, but this is actually a next lot because that time when this Gukesh, Pragyananda, and Arjun was doing really well, even entering the top table, that time Pranav was like much behind, 2300 or something like that, and now suddenly he's doing really well.
Yeah.
So I think the way he's playing, I'm feeling maybe not this Olympiad, but in maybe in future Olympiads, he will join the team.
Yeah, why not? Why not? I mean, if India could play with 3 teams, anyway, they would compete for the podium.
Yes,
Yeah, this is the reality, and of course,
Uh, anyway, I'm here for some more announcement also that in Fujairah, they are going to organize some close round robin tournaments.
wow.
And those tournaments will be especially for some very talented youngsters from Middle East and Asia to get the norms, and tournament will be like you can say that one of the best players they will call, so norm chances will be very, very high. So this is something new Fujairah Chess Club is going to introduce, and this is most likely this tournament will be after the World Cup. I think December first week or something.
Amazing, amazing. So probably close tournament with international masters norm, yeah?
Yeah, no, for GM norm,
For GM norm,
for
yeah.
IM norm, and for WGM norm.
So it actually will be a festival of
Yes,
close tournaments.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, very good idea, because honestly, I don't remember close tournaments here in the United Arab Emirates. We have like 4 strong festivals, 4 strong opens, but close tournaments, not so many, yeah? And especially for Arab, for first of all UAE players, and for Arab. I mean, the best local player from Fujairah, Amar Al Sedrani, is a talented player, young talented player, member already of Olympic team. And I think he's still FM, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
so,
yes, yes.
So yeah, he will be one of the probably players.
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes, yes. Some players will Middle East will going to participate. Viral, what do you think about the? Okay, looks like Pranav is going to win.
Yeah.
And, who's going to be number 2 spot? What do you think?
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So after the opening, I thought it will be a very tough game for Amin, but he found a couple of very good ideas. Actually, first I would like to mention here after c5. So the most logical retreat is bishop c7. Yeah, you keep
Yes,
your
yes,
pawn
yes.
on e5, and it's like, and but after like 20 minutes of thinking, he decided to give the pawn on e5,
Ah,
which is surprising idea and probably strong. And here white took this pawn, okay, exchanged for the pawn on c5. Looks like white is very active, but slowly black start to dominate the position. Bishop e6, bishop is coming to d5. Also knight d5, knight c3 might be an idea. Bishop d2, rook c8, queen f4, and bishop to b6. So black got harmony in the position,
yes,
yeah?
yes.
All the
Pieces are
pieces are
better
playing, no more
placed, yeah.
weaknesses, no more pressure on this long diagonal. Knight a3, white is trying to bring the knight to c4.
Even the isolated d pawn is helping a lot black.
Yeah, exactly. So there is a very strong outpost on c3. Black can bring the knight, no, immediately knight d5, knight c3, and here he played the move bishop c7. Probably this was maybe a better try. Knight d5, queen f3, and knight c3.
Knight c3.
And knight here like controls a lot of squares, attacking the pawn b5, attacking the pawn on a2. Now bishop d5 is coming. Yeah, but instead he played the move bishop c7, and white is thinking, no, white played the move queen h4. Yeah. Okay, it's this is actually we just discussed with Angelica. This is the first game where Tamat, not anymore. I mean, he was always playing slow, yeah, with progress on the clock. But this is the first game where
he's playing fast.
Yeah, and the time is, let's say, it's balanced.
Balance, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. So yeah, this is the current position, and
but I think now game is entering in more important phase because both have 15, 16 minutes, and next 2, 3 moves could be crucial.
Exactly. With all the pieces on the board, like so many tactical ideas here, like pieces hanging, pawn, bishop a5, bishop b7, knight c4 is coming, maybe bishop g5. Also, black once again can play the move knight d5, knight c3.
And also, last few moves, white also shown that my intention is not to be play passive. I'm
Yeah,
going to do
exactly.
something. Yes, it's interesting.
Yeah. So this, I believe, the game will be decided. This is what I believe.
Some result will come.
Yeah, exactly. What result? I mean, it's really very hard
What
to
do you think
predict.
about Nihal?
By the way, we have a draw.
Draw in board number 4.
We have a draw in the game Sugirov Mishra. Somehow a little bit disappointing, I would say, because around here I thought that okay, the position is complicated. Maybe black can sacrifice the pawn. No, but Mishra played actually okay in the best way here, trading and rook c8. Okay, just equalized, yeah. Yeah, trading more pieces and improving the knight. And here it was a draw. They just agreed to a draw on this position.
What do you think about Mishra performance in this entire tournament? How in recent time he was little struggling with his calculation and something, and suddenly in this tournament he played against Sadhwani, really amazing game, that b6 sacrifice, and even he became a little emotional after that game because he was so happy that the way he played. And even next game when you are Angelica analyzing till the last and totally winning game.
Yeah, the game with Suleiman Lee, actually he played a nice attacking game.
Yes.
He was absolutely winning, I mean completely just playing, but the problem, okay, this tournament is very specific, yeah, the time control. The time control, and he's still playing, I would say not fast enough, yeah, for this time control. And couple of games he spoiled it in time trouble, yeah, including that game with with Suleiman late. But as I see, he improved.
He improved.
He
Looks like
improved, and
improved,
he's improving. He's improving constantly.
even yesterday game, in one moment it was looking a little difficult, but he tried. He managed to draw that game.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. With I mean, less time. But anyway, he played very precise. Played very precise. Yeah, big potential for.
Yeah, I'm looking forward in like coming years how he will grow up as a top player, because anyways, he still have a record, that youngest grandmaster from the world. He still had that record, I think.
Yeah.
Let's see. And one of the, I think if you see USA next generation is also getting ready, very strong.
Yeah, exactly.
Leong is there, Jeffrey is there, and
Hong Andrew.
Emmanuel is doing well.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and is the another boy, this Jacobson also was
Jacobson,
doing
yeah.
this. So.
And the winner of the Masters tournament. What is his name? Hardaway Brinton. Yeah. So also, yeah. So it's a good generation. Good generation. I mean, everyone is improving.
Yeah. No, because they are investing so much in chess, and finally the new generation is coming really well. Yeah. Okay, so this is good news. And
what is 𝐒𝐤𝐬𝐿 doing, by the way, on board 3?
So, yes.
Yeah, so probably, okay, let's do it like this. I'll go for a short break.
Yes.
And leave you with, to continue with Angelica.
Yes.
Because she knows very well everything about the tournament. And I believe that will be a good moment to...
Yeah, see the commentator who is here from the start.
Yeah, today we have a marathon with not so many breaks. Yeah, because this is the last round, the most important moment of the day, of the round, of the tournament. Okay, so let's have a break. Yeah. And
welcome back, dear viewers. Now I'm back. Substitution for Viral.
Yes. So, Angelica, no, I'm the substitution. I'm going soon. What do you think about overall your experience as a commentator here?
It has been amazing from the first day. Okay, the first day I was mostly alone. You were joining me like for some longer parts, and there was also, by the way, Abhimanyu Mishra also helped a bit in the commentary, because after showing his game, he also stayed to take a look at all the rest of the top board. So it was really nice. It was a bit of a tough start to be alone, but then with VRL together, I think it was amazing. No, it was amazing because he showed all his, experience. He's very experienced in the theory. He has developed many ideas also in middle game and end game. So in all the parts, and I also contributed my part to that. So it has been truly amazing.
And what do you think? According to you, winner is like what you guess, or is surprise something?
I think I was expected to be surprised, if I can say like this. Looking at the whole field, it was clear that we can see unpredictable results. Even though 𝐒𝐤𝐿 was top seeded, and he, of course, he had huge chances to win, coming into the tournament. But then after the first round, Pranav just shook everyone up. And I think since that moment, he didn't stop surprising us. Every day coming with some surprises on the board. And I think he was a player who was always to highlight every round. He was saving tough positions. He was creating some unbelievable strategical ideas and converting, outplaying such strong and tough opponents. But truly remarkable for Pranav. I think, definitely one of the best events for him.
Yes, correct. I think also rating wise, I think maybe he will reach his best, because if he win today, I think he will be around 2640.
Currently, his performance 28-21.
Yes.
After this win, it will be even higher, plus around 23 rating points, so it will be even more. No, truly, truly impressive. And by the way, with Viral, we were discussing, right? So that 6.5 points would be enough to win the event, but no, he wants more. He wants 7
going
points.
for 7. And it's nice for him because if you win, he will get the maximum circuit points as an individual winner. Because if they share, the points will be shared. So this is also nice for him. Anyway, I don't know how much is
I was
that.
checking the leaderboard, and Pranav was having not so many points, but of course overall, sorry.
Yes, yes. But there is other players, like for example, if Nihal finished third, it can impact because in the top of the list, if for example Pragananda qualified from World Cup or Grand Swiss, so the feeder circuit spot will free then because Caruana already qualified. So even Nakamura, if qualified by rating, that spot will be open again. So that is going to be very interesting. Means it looks like Pragananda already closed this.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
but if he qualified from before, that's happened in the last year also, last time also. If he qualified from World Cup, his current form is really nice, and Grand Swiss, it's possible that these spots will again available and this race will become interesting.
So currently Pranav has a few tournaments. He played in Menorca and Ljubljana Chess Festival and also World Junior Chess Championship. So currently he has not so many points, 8.29. But this victory, he's going to get bounced up, I think, up to 20th place.
Yes. If he, for example, if he get maximum whatever is possible, so he will have something 25 points or something total overall, and suddenly he will be somewhere around
top 20 around.
This is so much big jump. And for example, Nihal Sarin. I was thinking about Nihal. For example, Nihal, where is Nihal?
We can
Okay.
can just find him.
Nihal.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
this.
for example, if he
Okay.
finish third and get 10 points, 11 points or something, so he will suddenly enter in top 10, top 7 or something. So this is interesting.
By the way, even top 5. Yeah, look at this.
Yes,
Top 5 is
yes.
44 points.
So it's not fully close, and this tournament could be crucial. Points could be crucial for the feeder circuit in future. Anyway, I'm here for two announcements, and so one more time I will do this announcement. One of the very important things that today, first time that His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Hamad Al Sariki, the Crown Prince of Fujairah, is going to visit this club. And in the closing ceremony, he will be the main guest, one of the main guests. So this is going to be a very important thing for Fujairah Chess Club. And second, after the World Cup, first week of December, Fujairah Chess Club is going to host some round robin norm events, GM, IM, WGM. So something is very interesting is coming that they want to give chances to the youngsters from Middle East and from Asia, talented youngsters, that to score some valuable norms. And the plan is to create the environment that it should be a very high norm chances. That rating of the players should be high. The active players will participate. So in that way, something very nice. I think I'm saying initiative taken by Fujairah Chess Club, which is coming soon, and we will update you about this. So this is one of the two information I want to share.
Niklesh, this is truly amazing that everyone is supporting also not only the players already established for professionals, but also the rising generation, all the children. Again, we were also discussing Saleh Salem, we were discussing also Ruda, who is playing in the Masters tournament, that all the kids who are watching up on those and want to become them one day.
Yeah, this is the sometimes issue happen with the young kids that they want to play for norm, but it's not so easy to go to Europe always and get the perfect conditions. So I think this is a very nice initiative and will going to help so many players. So let's see what is happening on the board now.
Let's
board
go.
number one.
Let's
is
go
there any
back
change?
to one. Yes, we. Oh, okay. I don't know what was last discussed with you. I think by the way, I went up in the playing hall, and this was the move I saw. Was played by Alain Pichot. So again, we were discussing here this a5 move. Yeah, the main point is that king on f8 is not allowing rook to enter.
Yes.
And for that reason, I mean, this a5 move is just perfect because we were discussing this position. King would be on d7, a5 would be not. I mean, it could have been possible, maybe immediately even rook f8, rook 8, and suddenly some activity for the rook. But no, now king is on f8. And this is completely different story. So a5 is played, and you cannot even take, right?
Yes.
So he tries his best. The idea is if a6 is played, c6, cutting the way for the pawn to be, and maybe activate the rook like this. But what did Pranav played? He played rook e6.
Rook e6, yes.
Okay, so not allowing.
I think it's now white in full control. The problem is that already white have this one pass pawn, maybe from here, so you cannot leave this area so much, and that structure is very weird still with double pawn. So
yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime b pawn moves, and these pawns are going to be weak.
Yeah.
But
so I think this game will end it with because that rule of double weakness, more
Yeah.
than two weakness, and you cannot handle both sides of the board with the king, especially the king is like.
And I absolutely love this rook e6 move, it's just cutting all opportunities. So rook d7 was played, so still trying to enter somewhere, but now a b, so he calculated all entrance with the rook on d3 or d2, and rook b6. So now two pawns, two extra pawns.
Now, okay, he can enter down now, but
He went rook d4, current position. Yeah, so this is the current position what we have on the board also,
and for example here,
okay, so again, big problem, yet two extra passers. It's not so easy. How do you, of course, this is a
this is going to fall soon, but whatever you're going to play here, a4, c4, a5.
Yeah, I'm a bit afraid of a4.
a4, take a5. Yes. Even he can go for here for. There is two ideas. No, but you can continue to play a6 even here. Just continue to play a6. If he plays c4, now you can come to rook's king or even rook. I don't know.
Because
rook c6 rook c6. Yeah.
Because rook, I'm afraid that if we go into this.
No. You don't need to go there. I think you don't need to go there.
But you have then to stop this pawn, yeah. Then you have to come with the king.
King. Yeah. Take king here.